bonus, 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 bonus. Bonus best of show. Just another chance to wet your pants. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, anyway, hi. I don't know when this one's coming out. I'm just making a bonus one. I really enjoyed this one. This is right around the time, right before Thai realized he had to leave Las Vegas. Thai Rivera, we're talking about. Hit the like button. Thai Rivera decided to team up with this local comic who was also basically an open micer, Ralph Tutela. And they were going to call this show the Kings of Las Vegas. And Thai was convinced he was going to have a residency. A residency on the Strip in Las Vegas. Okay. And then as things got closer, it fell apart. It looks like Thai stole money from Ralph Tutela to book the venue. Thai really thought he could draw every Friday and Saturday night in Las Vegas. He's like, Carrot Top does it. Why can't I? Delusional. But all this just gives more and more insight to Thai Rivera. And, yeah, I think it's important. If you're into Thai Rivera, and we were, it's important. And we will be going back to Thai Rivera because his situation just doesn't get better. The last time we checked in on him, he was moving to Austin. It didn't go well. And now he thinks he's doing really well there. He's going on Kill Tony twice a year. Of course, he's not good on there, but that doesn't matter. Just another important character I think it's important you know in the NLO universe. Have a watch. Ralph Tutela. From what I've seen, not an unfunny guy. But newer guy, up-and-coming guy. Thai Rivera. And they had a big disagreement. They had a big falling out. Things didn't work out. And Thai decided to launch the residency on his own. And if you want to see that, search for Watch the Throne on the Nobody Likes Onions channel to see or hear. Do we do have video of that? We do have video, I think, of Thai's special. Oh, he hired this Asian guy with a keyboard to like play. It's all coming back to me now and giving me a headache, frankly. Anyway, check it out. I hope you enjoy it. I'll be back soon, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled skirmishes. Once again, thank you for letting me take this time off. I just needed it so much. It'd mean a lot to me to hit the like button before you get out of here if you're not going to watch the best of. But stick around, hang with the chat, and enjoy the show, okay? Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. I'm here with my friend Bong. And it really got me. I'll tell you that. Patrick, why do you do that right before a show?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't like that. Okay, Look, I know you all could have been watching Willie Barcena right now. Fuck. I rubbed my eye after doing the bong, packing it. And now I've got this whole thing going. It's good to see Earl. It's good to see Sean. Adam says, this better be a banger. I'm staying up past my bedtime to watch. Earl Skakel is now binary, so that's pretty good. And Sean McCann, 2 available on a Saturday night. I mean, I made it at 11 so that everybody could make it, except the guy who was supposed to, Kool-Aid. I'd love to tell you that we got a Brad cam. Brad is really camera shy. She rarely comes on camera. Oh, send in your sevens. Look, the other night that was crazy. Crazy. I got like almost $800, of which I almost get 500, whatever YouTube takes. So that's cool. That's all going to a TV. I got an 85-inch that I want to get with all the bells and thistles. You know what I mean? He's too busy playing his PS5. Oh, you're asking where? Look, I don't know. He's being he's being really weird. He's acting like he's too good to text back now. He'll like wait a day and be like, "Oh, my bad." No, it was his. He wanted to come the other night, you know, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I thought about it, and I was like, look, I got 2 of these shows to get through. It's gonna be a long one. So you know, I'd rather just bang this one out tonight. Let's do the next one. So then I asked him yesterday. He's like, "Oh, I got a thing at LA Comedy Club." I was like, "Oh, then I'll come up to LA Comedy Club and watch your show." Brandon Hans, aka Gooch, Stupid Town show. It's the midnight show, LA Comedy Club. But then he's like, "Oh, I fell." And when Kool-Aid tells you he fell, you know, you don't ask follow-up questions. But I did. And I was like, what? Like your ankle? Like, fuck. Are you going to make it to your show tonight? And he's like, probably not. And then he said it was his hip. And I was like, whoa. I can't imagine a hip injury. It must be the most painful thing. I'm sure I'll find out soon. Cheers, everybody. Drink up with the blood of wolves tonight. Okay, we're all gonna sap up the gravy of life. My dog has turned into a monster. We have so much stuff tonight. You know, I won't be mad if you guys donate hundreds at a time. We'll get through it together. Kool-Aid didn't come. I don't know. Like, earlier he said, yeah, let's do it. Then he's like, we might have to do Skype only. And I was like, try to make it. This is like around 2, you know. I'm like, try to make it. But if we have to do Skype, we'll do Skype. Then like 4 hours later, he's like, I can't. I'm like, well, let's do Skype then. He's like, I can't. He's like, I'm going to pass out, man. I got medicines. And then 56 minutes ago, he posted that he was playing games. So I don't know. Like, just be straight. I don't know. That's crazy. And this alienates people, but I can't, be responsible. Like, I'm just telling you what happened. I don't know what happened. I thought he was down. He was going crazy the other night. Like, next time we're doing a bottle. Like, I get it. Your hips hurt. But just say that in the first place. Like, man, I got to wait till it gets better. And just answer and be honest. It's weird, man. I love Kool-Aid. We're great pals. But sometimes I have to tell people how to human, I guess. I don't like... I'm weird. Like, I'm one of those people who's not afraid of just telling you and having the confrontation. It's weird to not. Like, it's weird to, like what is, more awkward? Just, like, saying, like, hey, man, let's communicate better. We're friends. Or just, like, going through the rest of our lives pretending. Like, that's crazy. I'm confused. You seemed like you wanted to be on a podcast. Now it seems like you don't. But I don't really know because I don't really get answers. And then you say, I probably can't because I'll pass out because medicine. And then you're like, I'm gaming. And it's like, all right. Well, I mean, like, I get the allure of gaming. The solitude, the blue glow of the screen. Like a campfire for nerds. We all just gather around the Steam app, downloading image after image of ROM after COM. I don't know how any of it works. I think he has a Nintendo Switch. Oh, he has a PS5 too. I don't game, and if I had a PS5, I'd probably never talk to my friends again. My Ring is getting notifications now. This is creepy. Who's outside of my... Oh, my God. This is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen on Ring. I can't even read. Like, I have... Sorry, everybody, but I have goosebumps. Sorry to end my screaming at Kool-Aid. I love Kool-Aid. I hope your hip gets better. If you're anything like me, you don't have health insurance, so that's fucking dangerous. I will say this. I told Kool-Aid that if he comes in tonight, everything the show earned in super chats, that I would split with him. And even that didn't get him. But I still would like to do that. So if anybody does do super chats tonight, and this isn't pressure. Look, I get it. The other night was crazy. It was $800. But if you want to donate to Kool-Aid, I'll give half the value of what you guys donate, which leaves me with crumbs, if you know anything about how it works, because YouTube takes like 30% or more with processing fees, and they're cut. And then I'll give Kool-Aid 50, so I get 20, just for my processing, for my sanity, and then we'll give that to Kool-Aid. I don't think he's even watching. He must be gaming, pretending to be asleep by not watching the show, and just gaming. You cunt. Oh, I forgot what was in my hand. This is the creepiest thing I've ever. Is it Dear David? It's creepier than that. All right. Well, again, sorry for the cough. I did a banger bong rip right before this. But I'm just a druggie. Okay, I'll tell you. It's 4 miles away, so it's not like it's in my neighborhood. But because of the severity of what's going on, I guess it blasts this out to like a bigger radius. This is crazy. Baby girl wandering around our apartment complex. I'm listening. saying she's looking for her daddy. I'm sorry. My skin is on fire. There's a baby girl wandering around your apartment. I've got to put on some mood music. Let's find a good soundtrack for the rest of this story. Shall we? It's definitely not a Liberty Mutual ad, so we'll wait until that plays. Thanks, YouTube. And now I'm watching an ad for Boss Baby 2 back in business. Ladies and gentlemen, a story from the Ring Neighborhood app minutes ago that will make your skin crawl. Baby girl wandering our apartment complex says she's looking for her daddy. She says she's 2 years old and her name is Desi. If anyone knows anything about Desi, call me immediately. Now, people are saying that you should call 911. I'm telling you right fucking now, if I looked out of the window in my, first of all, let's set the stage. I live in an apartment. Creepy enough. I look out my window and down in the street lights through the carport I see a baby. You know what's even creepier? If they have a blanket that they're like toting behind them, sucking their thumb, just walking in the moonlight. It's 11:21 p.m. You approached this obvious geist with what? Your cell phone and a dream. Hi, little girl. What's your name? My name's Desi. They always have a British accent. Desi? How old are you? I'm this many. How many? 2. Where do you live? I'm not sure. Do you live in this apartment complex? I don't know. Desi, do you know where your parents are from? Do you know your dad's name? Satan! So we do bits around here and that kind of stuff. Welcome to the show if it's your first time here. My name's Pink, the singer. Fuck, I am high. Come on, guys. I'm telling you though, that's a real Ring doorknob alert that I just got. That's crazy. If you saw a child wandering around your world, fucking hell. Can you even imagine? They're calling it Dear Desi. I don't know, man. Do you even invite? You know what it is too? Because vampires, you have to invite them into your house. So, like, the obvious form to take would be like a child that just acts like, I'm confused. I don't know. And you're like, come in and watch cartoons. We'll put on Netflix for kids. It's where you just order a new kid every 3 weeks and then send it back when you're tired of playing with it. Netflix for kids. Guys, we've got a lot to get through tonight. I don't know. I'm babbling on and on like a brook. But we are raising money for Alex Ansel tonight. We're up to 50 cents. 50 cents for... Can I tell that story, by the way, Earl and Jay, about what you did to me, this prank? 50 cents earned for Big Irish Alex. Big Irish Aid. Guys, there's been so much that's happened. And I don't know how to get into this without trying to make it serious. But recently, I think this past week, it's what? It's Saturday now. This past weekend, our buddy Thai Rivera put on a, how you say, headlining residency show at the Thunderbird Hotel and Lounge. Now, originally this was going to be called The Kings of Comedy, co-starring Ralph Tutela. And then he was going to change the name to the Thai Rivera Comedy Cabaret. And then he was going to change the name, or he did change the name. I think they finally ended on fucking Boo. But when he sent out the video, it said Thai Rivera live at the Thunderbird Lounge in Las Vegas, Nevada, which I gotta watch. It was, of course, off-center and photoshopped by a complete amateur. But that's what the kids are into these days. But listen, we watched it. We did a review of it, a complete breakdown. I don't have to justify the fair use of that because we really, really tore it apart. You know, it wasn't for the content. And it's also community. It counts towards my community service hours, warning people about this monster. And I have to say, you know, to the people who think, there's people who are new on board with this, and they're like, what is his obsession? This guy's a maniac. Calm down, you know. I have a wife and a family. So, you know, I've got a lot to lose. But I also have armed guards and a hell of a drone defense system. So, bring it. But I'm pretty easy. Ask around to people. I'm great. But every once in a while you run into a psychopath, and I'm not. Look, maybe it's because I'm in my 60s now. I'm an older man. And I don't have much time left, so I don't have time to beat around the bush when it comes to complete jackholes. And also, like, just as a, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're all just really animals on a rock. And, like, I'm not going to not stare at a nightmare Like, this is crazy. Like, if you came across, if you came across a human that instead of arms had like watermelon slices with Vienna sausages on the end, and instead of fingernails, they literally just had like sewn on what are those things that girls put on there? Look, that's not the point. If you saw some creature like that, you'd be like, that's crazy, and you would stare at it. Like when you see a human, it's like standing up, demanding to be seen. Like that's what he's doing. So it's like, okay, let me have a gander. And then like I start watching you and I go like, oh, you're crazy. And then you're like, that's me. You know what I mean? It's like, hold on, you wanted me to watch this. So it's like, fine. It's like, just tear everything down. Like, and by the way, dude, this is the easiest form of comedy. Like, you can take any, like, this isn't, I've said this before, is not a secret. Just play somebody's stuff. Take this video right here, play it back, and just pause it and make, by the way, you're great at this, gay, sassy comments about my video. It's easy and fun and always works great. It's like being a musical comic. Sorry, I had a stroke. You know, it's a real crutch. And nobody does it better than me. So, you know, do it. But you got to find a fascinating case study. You know, you are also the problem with you. And look, you say you're not a pill queen, but you know, word on the street. You're like, if you're not on coke or pills, like, wow, you know what I mean? I'd hate to see you strung out on that stuff, because you're a manic pixie, man. Like you, I don't know if I've ever seen a more insane man. I've got to be honest with you. And, you know, it makes sense now to me. When you talked for an hour about how another man stole a joke of yours. And yet in that hour, we're completely unable to convey the contents of said joke. Like, believe if someone stole a joke, I'd be able to say the joke. At best, it's just a very, you know, weird, weak premise. So, yeah, like, again, and then you've been asked point blank, like, what was the joke? And all you can say is like, I said it in that thing. And it's like, I mean, you didn't. You can't just keep yelling receipts. That doesn't mean you have receipts. I need to see them. So, like, again, I ask you, what is the joke? It can't be like, you can't do it. And then we watch an hour special of yours. And then we hear another hour special of yours. And now it makes sense. You can't tell us what the joke that got stolen is, because you kind of just in your head have puns and you just say things in a sassy way that aren't really jokes. And then they get laughs. And you know what else I figured it is? Because I was talking to a comic today, and they said this. They said, I've seen him crush, and then it went off in my head because I've seen Thai Rivera crush. And clicked in my head and I went, oh, they're two different things. You being funny and you being able to crush. I found myself laughing at the musings of a tiny gay man on stage. Myself. So I'm guilty of it. 100%. But that doesn't mean he's funny. Now look, comedy is completely subjective. So like, you're allowed to think Ty is funny, and as we're going to learn tonight, there are plenty of people who do. I don't personally think he's funny, and there are people at all different levels of like what they think is funny. It's like you can sit and argue all day about Dane Cook isn't funny, or who's Lisa Lampanelli isn't funny, or whoever. But it's like if they're crushing it, if they're selling out like arenas and theaters, and I don't understand. Like, you can't really argue they're not funny. When you say somebody's not funny, it means they're not funny to anybody. So like, obviously you can't say Thai Rivera is not funny. I don't find Thai Rivera funny. I think it's embarrassing if I hear a comic now that I like, look, I'm going to be fair with you. I'd never seen Ty do a long set. They're always like 5 minutes. Like spots on shows. But now that I've heard 2 hours of this man mumble into a microphone, it is no different than his podcasts, only less coherent. I'm high as a fucking kite right now, and I'm still able to put together sentences and enunciate in between painful breaths due to the tar in the marijuana. It's this weird, it's almost like I can't explain it. I get the same kind of the same feeling from what's the chick that's married to Moshe Kasher? What the fuck is her name? Oh, God. That's going to drive me nuts. I get the same feeling from her. It's almost this like, I don't know. Now, hers is a bit of a character. And also she's a little funny. So it makes up for it. A lot. But it's like this attitude where it's kind of like, I don't even want to be here. Like, I'm too good for all of this, as evidenced at ThaiRiveraComedy.com, when almost a year ago he said, I'll be quitting comedy in a year. Yet to be seen. Probably another lie. As we're learning, he's one of the biggest liars
in the world.
So he puts together this festival. Before the festival, he's made some videos. I want to show these just to offend the natives. Natasha Lejar, thank you. Let me get volume. This is Ty before the show setting up.
Hey, test. Hey. Okay, I think we're good.
You see this? It's like 7 tables. This is his opening act. Oh, we just got a sub. What happened? So that was one of Ty's crazy, like, hey, I'm going to be posting updates on my fan page tonight. He posted one more. Here it is. Get ready for nothing. Hold on.
I set all of this up myself.
Jesus.
Okay, I know you guys didn't realize I was this technologically inclined, but
Just
I set all
mumble.
this
Like,
up.
I think it's all the, it has to be all the shit he just keeps pumping into his face, right? Where he's like, "Can I say so? I don't know if you realize this, guy. It's like, do you want to do this for a living? Let us know." It's so weak, dude. It's so fucking weird.
Myself. See what I'm working on lights right now. That's also me hard at work. And tables.
Do you see what he thinks hilarious? Guys, I set all this up. It's like the most basic mixer plugged into like a phone. You know what I mean? Like and then he laughs for 8 seconds about it. Like, what? So this is what he thinks funny. So, like, of course it sucks.
pretty much do everything around here. This is the worst.
Oh my God. 7 tables for a sad wedding.
All right, I'll tag you guys at least.
And then he posted on that, thankfully, Jeremy Jones, Christopher Rubio, Megan, all these people he tricked into fucking helping. And look, I don't like, he was going to have a cabaret variety show. All he could get was one guy with a keyboard down there to do crowd work, going like, "Hey, where do you work?" And they're like, "The ice cream factory." Like, "Oh, I bet it's cold. Back to me." So, I've been married for a couple of years. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then every joke out of his mouth is it ends up with like cum or a story from the road where he was shitty to everybody. And then Ralph Tutela came in our chat room the other night, was telling us, like, on the road, he picks fights with everyone, every hotel, every gas station, every waitress. He picks fights with everybody. He's just a little bitch. Last night he showed up at LA Comedy Club while Matt Markman was there on stage and got all, pissy and left. And let me tell you something, man. The more you guys like this stuff and share it, and now comics are getting unshy about sharing this. Like, we're live right now. Tell your friends. Comics are up late. That's why I do them late. Share this stuff because I get more info. It's completely anonymous. You contact me, you give me stuff, okay? People know I've got a reputation for it now. I've been doing this a long time. I call it Agent O. Agent Onion. You're all Agent O. Collectively, we are all Agent O. Send it in. I had a contact today. I cannot fucking believe the stuff you guys get me. Oh, good news. That girl's dead. Okay, hold on. Let me find this. Wait till you see this. So this rolls into my inbox yesterday. I missed it. Came in as a request. Sometimes I miss this stuff. You got to contact me on multiple platforms because it goes into all these like different boxes, and some of them have even different boxes. Will Thai info stay anonymous when given? I said always. I have access to his Venmo history. I'm listening. He got, and I don't remember what he wanted. He wanted, and by the way, I wouldn't just take a person's word for what I'm about to tell you, these numbers, for his sales. Remember, he didn't have a sales system. He literally was like, Venmo me for tickets. He was hungry and he needed sandwich money. And if I didn't have the proof in screenshots after screenshot of Venmo, I have everyone who sent him money, everyone who bought a ticket, the complete shit. So these numbers are legit. He wanted 100 people in each show live. He wanted 1,000 streams sold. $10 tickets for live stream only.
Oh no.
And really hit it out of the park. All 4 shows, total number of tickets, 14. $24 tickets now. Let's say he sold more. Let's say he did. I'm sure he did. I'm sure there were some look, because there was a 3-day window there where he was selling tickets before absolute panic set in. And he gave them away. Said, please come down. It's free. If you're in Vegas, anywhere near Vegas, please come down. Please come to the show. I have bitten off more than I can chew. I think I've made a horrible mistake. Whatever you want to go with, we can all go back and see the post where he's like, okay. Now, posting a video, thanking everyone for the help, da-da-da-da-da-da. This goes off. He declares it a success, puts the video out. The video's shitty. It's auto-focusing in and out. The ISO changes. At one point, it's so dark you can't see anything for a few minutes. He thinks it's like Netflix, Amazon Prime quality. Total number after 5 days of release, it's like 80 views. And believe me, 30 of those are me. I can't fall asleep without it. So it's fucking crazy. I get another communique from Agent O. As we know from a previous source, Thai Rivera apparently is guilty, allegedly, of abuse of former partners. He's thrown things and broken things. He lived in Phoenix, pissed off everyone there, ran off to LA, pissed off everyone there, told everybody he had a development deal and that he didn't want it and he was walking away from it, and left LA back to Phoenix, pissed off even more people in Phoenix again. Came to Vegas with a relationship that fell apart, because how could it not? It's Thai. And here we are now. He's out of clubs to perform at. His beloved LA Comedy Club, it's over. They don't want you there. When you go there, it's uncomfortable. Everyone is talking about you. Okay? You have one person on your side there, Steven Roberts. I don't know how. He's a great guy. He's made a horrible horrible error. Okay? And I feel bad for him because he's going to find out, because everyone does. And I feel bad for the little open micers you have fooled too, because they're going to find out. And they're going to get hurt. That's how they find out, which sucks. How many people have we seen in this trail of tears from this fucking never was? You know what I mean? Like, I like, look, just since we've been paying attention, right? Most recently, Ralph Tutela. This was his go-to guy. They were kings together. He was his road buddy. They were dog. He posted, boasting, brags about him. Ralph Tutela is a great comic. He's on the road with me. He knows how to be professional. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Falling out happens. He was never good. He was shit. He wasn't good enough for me anyway. He didn't have enough time. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, you tell people your word means something. You're full of shit. As comics, we've all seen what you do now. It's painful. It's painful. These open micers work harder than you, and I feel bad. You know, I go to these open mics, I watch these guys. You know, I want to start going up. I want to start writing material and doing some stuff around town. Most of these open mics are, no one's paying attention. Everyone's chatting, including me, by the way. So I'm not, innocent. And look, I've only met Ralph Tutela once. He seemed like a really nice guy. He seemed like a straight shooter. Just kind of like an everyman, And I called this before it all happened. I feel bad for Ralph. He's going to find out. I called it. And then thank God, people told him. And he got out. Apparently he lost a lot of money. This is info from Agent O. He was banned from the Laugh Factory in Hollywood because 150 lesbians signed a letter saying they'd start a boycott if he ever performed again. A paid regular at the Comedy Store, a 20-year paid regular at the Comedy Store, told Adam to ban him. He was never in development. He was told he could not do Friends and Family or the potluck at Comedy Store. Look, potluck is like the base level. This is like what open micers on Sunday nights. It used to be Sunday nights. I don't know what it is anymore. God knows. Last time I was at the Comedy Store. Sunday nights they go down. When did it start? 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Somewhere super early. You go down. You put all your name, in a fish bowl. They pull out like 40. Is it 40 names to go up, and you are the show from like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's brutal, but it's the only way a lot of comics can get up. It's pretty much their open mic. It's called potluck because way more than 40 people sign up. And I think you get 3 minutes on it. It's brutal. It's brutal. It's in the original room and it's at like 6 p.m. So, there's 4 people in there, and they're not, the sun's up. It's just shit. Like, he's not allowed to perform on potluck. If you're new to Hollywood, you can go down and sign up for potluck. So let's not think he had a development deal. People know these things are coming out. He's running to new towns, telling people lies. It's all going to come out. And by the way, you can't put up an hour of comedy like that and talk about how good you are anymore. You can't do it. It's not allowed. It's a crime, a criminal crime. So tonight we're gonna watch the latest iteration of Thai Rivera's Unbothered, and we're gonna break it down because the thing is, when you break this all down, it's like, I don't do this because I hate Thai or wish anything bad to Thai. I want him to, God, get better. Like, he's clearly mentally ill, man. Like, mentally ill. What is that? What is that? I don't like that stuff. 200 people sign up, 17 get on the friends and family, which is about 10 people. Oh, it's only 17 people in the potluck? It used to be 40. It used to be 40. Like 3 minutes, 40, and it would be like a 4-hour show. It's on Monday night. So, whatever. And now Landry is texting me, okay, fine, I'll join your show. So, I don't know what that means. Ty put out this show half an hour before we went live with the 7-hour breakdown of his headlining performance at his residency at the Thunderbird. That part 1 of that is up now. It's just over 3 hours long. Check it out. It's a fun one to watch, but like, you go tell me how good of a comic Ty is. You make me a list of all the bangers, man. You tell me what he pumps out. I'd love to know. I like that stuff. So we're gonna watch that, and then Ralph Tutela has started firing back, and I gotta tell you, I like this Ralph Tutela guy more and more. The more I talk to him, he seems like a nice guy. Now he is in the World Series of Comedy, which is run by a crook named Joe Lowers. So watch yourselves if you're in that competition. No. I have a friend who won it and got none of the work. He was supposed to get like 50 weeks of work or some ridiculous shit. He got none of it. None of it. He won it. Thai Rivera won it. So what does that tell you? Or almost won it or something. I think he won it. I don't know. Like, this tells you just how far this guilt shit goes. Because I'm telling you, write down this man's jokes and tell me what's funny. And by the way, have you ever seen a comedian's podcast that isn't funny? Let me tell you something about him. Most of what he does is crowd work, and he's not good off the cuff. The reason he doesn't do live broadcasts is because he's not good off the cuff. This is a live broadcast. I've got a comment in the chat from Bobby Wayne Stouts saying, Ty has become the AIDS he's afraid of, followed up by Ralph Tutela, free ride, and wallet. This is a live show. We do a live show. Some say, but I don't like to brag. It's possible to do. And we have very funny comics on the show. They're able to fire back and forth live. You can't do it. You can't do it. You hang out in the chat with by the way, it's usually like 3 people, and like one of them is me and 2 of them are my fans fucking with you. I will not. Whew. Okay, so we're gonna do this. It's gonna be a long one tonight again, not near as long as the other night, but I can't watch an hour of Thai Rivera without telling you everything that's a lie that he says. Like, it's time. It's time to start for the chickens to come home to roost. Because here's the thing. Once you start telling people that show was a fucking killer show, you crushed it, you did what you do, it's like, oof. And again, it can kill and still be absolute shit. Look, we heard the one woman cackling in the front row at everything he said. Does that make it a great show? Does that make it funny? I guess. I don't know. It's like, it makes it weird. That's for damn sure. We all felt that. Somebody went to Kmart and got a new tank top.
What a week we've had, Beige. Take your alligator. Everything.
Is he green screening? Is he green screening? It looks green screen, man. I need to see the light spill. The shadows, maybe. Fuck. God, look at those lips. We actually, this, I just found out about this, but my producer, whoa. What just happened? Oh, fuck. Half of this goes to Kool-Aid. You know that. Jay Hollingsworth just donated another $5. Say how great the Hollingsworthless Live is. How dare you try to profit off? How dare you try to buy advertising on this program? We will not be. We don't do ads except on Facebook continuously. Guys got to make money from. Man's got to eat what a man's got. Hollingsworth. What is it? Hollingsworthless podcast live every Tuesday. I would tell people to watch it. I think it's an interesting show. Sean is great. Jay is great. What's the black man's name? By the way, it's hurts me that 5 people have liked this, when over 30 are watching right now. So how about you hit a little like? But there's a black man on, what is it? Mario Rubio. What's his name? The black guy. It starts with, I want to say it, M. Murray, Manny, Mulligan, Minnesota. Marl? Is it Marl? Manny, I think. And then there's another sad man in the corner, but I think his name's Phil. We try not to look. PC Manny. Okay, because he does computers. And the Phil guy, I don't know what's going on with him, but somebody needs to really go over there and shake him like a baby. Fuck, that guy said. Like, when you don't even make your bed for a show, first of all, I'll tell you what's the saddest state of a man is whenever he's on Zoom in his room. You ever see these reporters on TV, like doing a story in their room? It's like, are you in your room? It's like, how are you a New York City reporter and you have a fucking roommate? Anyone broadcasting from the room has a roommate or lives with their parents. You remember Lonely Girl 15? That was a studio. It was an inside job. Manny Martin. Phil Fox. Ugh. I didn't know it was possible to like him less. He seems like I smell burning. I smell toast. He seems like a nice boy, but like, clean your room before you do a show or try the green screen stuff. The green screen stuff is fun. You can make it work. This is all CGI. We don't even have. Most of this is a doghouse. Down by the sea. We raised $6 tonight in Super Chat, and half of that goes to Kool-Aid. $3. So he'll be able to get. God, I'm out of it. I think the black guy's name is on Jay's pod. Is Shabadu Quinones? Oh my God! How did you just pick like one of the worst guys of my? I'm telling you, there's a show on ABC called "So You Think You Can." What would you do? What is it called? What is that show called? Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. If I Were Your Mom. What is this show called? Don't do that. What? Hey now. What if we were watching? Cameras ahoy. What is that show? With John King. Is it John? Quinones? John Quinones. He's a big guy. He looks like Joaquin. Oh, that's a good inside joke. What would you do? Landry says it's amazing. It let me tell you, 100%. It ain't. Cameras ahoy. Look. It's the worst show. You know what they'll do? They'll take like 15-year-old kids and they'll put them in the middle of like a Perkins. Jay Hollingsworth is going, Jesus Christ, focus. It's like, good idea. Let me just put, am I allowed to do this? So look, they'll put like 2 15-year-old kids, 3 15-year-old kids in a Perkins restaurant. It's like a diner type deal and bakery. And it'll be pretty full, you know, like at like lunchtime. This podcast tonight is the residency podcast. I like to give people a good show. If you're the kind of guy sitting around on a Saturday night watching YouTube on your, you know, far be it from you to judge me. I'm hanging out with my dog. She is bored out of her mind. It'll be pretty full for lunch, but it's all like old people eating, you know. And then the kids will have this stage conversation. They're actors out loud and super fake. Where they'll go like, besides, you're black. And like the girl will be like, what do you mean? And the other girl will be like, yeah, you're not the same as us. You shouldn't be allowed to do what we do. But like, it's just that, like non-specific. And then they'll just keep like ramping it up until an old lady comes over and goes, girls, that's not nice. And then John Quinones pops out of a janitor's closet with a camera and goes, it's me. He always sounds like, you're not dreaming. It's me. Can you believe it? And then everybody's like, I don't know the show. What is this? I'm having pea soup with my daughter. That's what would you do in a half shell? They allowed our actor to stick his dick into their water. But what would you do if our actor was a woman? Yeah, man, I like that stuff. That's great. So we're on a roll here tonight, guys. Let's get into Thai. I forget what we were talking about. This is definitely hurtful, though.
Episode of Unbothered by Thai Rivera, because I've been telling you guys that I'm going to do this for a long time, and I'm really making it a point to keep my word to everybody. And I know that I've been off about certain things. I never don't keep my word. That probably doesn't make sense, but I never completely don't keep my word. But sometimes I'm late on things. Like I've been saying that I was going to make it so the audio.
Again, look, you know, I don't want to just beat a dead horse, but like when you constantly have to say things like in all caps in his post too, it's super manic, you know what I mean? It's like, I promise, trust me, I won't let you down. Meanwhile, followed by posts like, I suck, I deserve everything I get, this is not going well, I'm worried. It's like, whoa. Who's Johnny Brem? He's a local is he a man? Do we like that guy? I don't know, man. We might be full up over here with allies. Hold on. Do you like gays? This show is brought to you by gays. Okay. So, you know, when you I'm sorry.
Audio only version runs concurrent with the video version. And last week I decided to just sit down and take steps towards that. Sorry, I have something in my eye. But I decided to...
He's stealing my bits now. I started this whole show by touching with weed in my eye. Yeah, I don't think I met that guy. I think he's probably an okay. You're here, right? I mean, you're not like you're not like a Thai spy. I think he's fine. You're a newer comic. I've seen some of your tweets. No, he's probably a nice guy. I like to rub everybody the wrong way. And Bobby Wayne, I like him, but Bobby and I have met a couple of times doing some shows. And he won't deny it, I'm sure, like Ty. Literally, I think Bobby, Ty, and I did some of the same shows out at the old Hooters. And Ty will be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, but Bobby's a man, a local man. But then, Ty says a lot of bad stuff about Bobby and Crystal. I don't know. Did you guys hear about Bobby and Crystal? And then also Bobby and Crystal have like this big beef with Kool-Aid, who until tonight I liked. And again, these are all bits. Kool-Aid had something like we can get into that whole mess later, but you guys, knock it off. I don't think Kool-Aid would ever do anything like that on purpose. So, let's be nice. Let's not throw out the baby with the bathwater, eh? And the baby is Kool-Aid. No, but everybody's got beef in this scene. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm friendly, loud on stage, respectful off it. That's boring, man. You gotta get it, stir some stuff up. I suggest you bring a bat to the next open mic and just don't make eye contact with anybody the whole night. Just look down and constantly just like pound it into your hand and be like, I told her to stop. Okay. Sorry. This is what weed does to me. It's a bad but hold on, I got a new drug. Okay. Okay. How do I play things anymore?
Sit down. It's probably COVID again. But I decided to sit down and just go ahead and time them out so they would all release daily until we're completely caught up. So by next week, I'll be releasing them at the same time. This one will come out on audio, I believe, Friday is the way that it's scheduled right now. And I'm really happy with that progress that I'm making. I'm also really happy with Carla's homemade salsa. I've been getting that out to a bunch of different people, like people buying it. Thank you all for buying it. I know a lot of you have hit me up and been like, I'm trying Carla's homemade salsa. People on my Instagram, people on my Facebook. So people are really catching.
This isn't even like a slam at Carla and Butch. If you're ordering salsa from a lady making salsa in her kitchen, I'm telling you, look, I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. I haven't personally had it. I'm telling you, a lady making salsa in a pot in her kitchen, bottling it up and shipping it out to you.
I don't like the look of it.
I wouldn't let that near my other condiments. I'd at least have to keep it on its own shelf, man. Salsas are not hard to make. Yeah, they're also not hard to buy. At least go get one. And look, she may have a banging salsa. She should get an investor and get a co-packer, or rent a commercial kitchen and do it the right way. Maybe she does. They don't know what I'm talking about. Just every time I see them, they're like, 5 more jars, hot and ready. Like they got a sign like Krispy Kreme. Every time I see it, it's like, we're bringing 10 jars tonight to the carnival. First come, first comes. $5 extras for chips. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Aren't you the best comic in Vegas? Like what? I'm telling you, and look, this isn't just because Butch and I have beef. If Butch and I were friends, I'd be giving him so much shit. And by the way, his friends are just not to his face. He's like the most respected comic in town, like resident, that hangs out with comics. Nobody's forgotten about Brian Regan and stuff. But salsa is just chunky ketchup. Well, you're probably a horrible fucking cook. Salsa is just chunky ketchup. Ketchup is chunky ketchup. That's how I buy it. Anyone else in a PhD program? Anyone else delineating the foundations of quantitative and qualitative research and various epistemological and ontological philosophical variations until you want to die? Anyone? Sorry, let's get back to Ty.
On, and everybody that's tried it loves it. Today, Steve Mudflap McGrew gave it a shout out on his page, which is huge. I have a lot of friends that
I'm sorry. What? Today, Steve Mudflap McGrew gave it a shout out, so that's huge. I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even, like, what do you even say to that? Who is that? And I'm sure I'm dumb. Look, there's a lot of big shit I don't know about. I don't really care. But is that a thing? Do we all know Steve? Am I the dummy? Because the last time he was talking about somebody big getting canceled, we looked him up. He had like 300 Twitter followers. It's like, I didn't tweet for 2 years and I have 13,000. Oh, that Mudflap guy came to Tulsa and it was weird. Right. This is the other thing is like, Ty somebody told me this today. Ty really thinks he has followers, like that people like. And look, I've been doing a podcast for 15 years. Every town I go to, every show, a couple of people who like the podcast will come out. A few people, it builds over time sometimes, but like, will come out to every show. But like, he's so delusional, being like, I'm gonna, do a tour. I'm gonna set up a residency. It's like, what are you talking about? And also, like, you've been doing comedy for how long? And you think like that's how it works? You have that, much of a judge on reality? Like, get it together, man. It's so crazy.
Thai school.
No, you're right. I mean, he's fine if you're into that kind of a stuff. Yeah.
That are really enjoying Carla's homemade salsa. I love Carla's homemade salsa. I really leaned on it hard last week because last week I was completely on it with my diet. Last week was also my first week doing my shows at the Thunderbird, which I know that I said that.
First week doing shows at the Thunderbird. As far as I know, it was the last week.
I'm probably not going to be doing those. I'm not going to continue with that, but it looks like there might be a chance that we are going to, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. They were very happy with the way things turned out. There were a lot of hiccups along the way, and I let everybody know that throughout the process, because what people forget about me is that people sometimes think I'm coming apart on social media, but I'm not in a relationship at all. So, yeah, there's people that I
mean, he's right. And he's talking about friendships, romantic. I came to hear what you have to say about Ralph. I like Ralph. Don't worry about it. Like, if you're here to like protect Ralph, Ralph's fine. No one's attacking Ralph on this show here. We have Ralph's back. Wreck-It Ralph.
Time with occasionally, I guess you could say. I don't even know that that's the case anymore. Really, have sex with people. That's what I do. Okay, let's just be honest about it. I have these casual sexual relationships that even those are becoming fewer and fewer because I'm bored of them. And then I'll do the Grinder thing, and once in a while I'll meet somebody that I think is cool on Grinder, and then I end up finding out about their life. And it's not like a snooping finding out about their life. It's just one of those things where I end up asking them about their life. They tell me more about their life, and then I'm turned off because I'm just like, oh, well, you like to party a lot, or you like to do a lot of drugs. And I am getting to the point where I want to settle down now, and I'm not trying to force that issue, but at the same time, I am leaning more that way. So the way I see it is, if I'm wasting a bunch of time looking at my screen instead of what's around me, I could end up missing my man because I'm staring at a screen. And also, I could be wasting time with somebody when my man is waiting for me out in the regular world. And I've been spending more time with friends that motivate me, and that, I think, is beginning to...
So the seeing people thing isn't, it's a trend across his life. He thinks there's a man out there waiting for him. He thinks there's an audience out there waiting for him.
Piss off haters even more because I don't allow people...
He also takes my, look, I have an obsession with insane people. I like to watch murder shit too, this is crazy. Because when he snaps and kills, hopefully it's not me, but, roll the dice. When he snaps and kills, I'm going to love to see the footage of him just break down and peel off this face. Oh, Brad Goulby, that guy can fucking die in a tire fire.
Able to have space in my life that aren't trying to see me get ahead. And especially with everything I've had going in the last couple of weeks, the way that all played out was I was supposed to have a partner, and I'm just going to talk about this, and I'm not going to do edits on this video because I just want to talk about things the way that they are, and I want you guys to be able to...
Have you noticed that, it's such a weird thing because, when someone starts picking at something, and I do it to be, just to have a goof. I goof with Jay Hollingsworth, and he doesn't he doesn't freak out and change himself because I teased him. Because that's insane. But we're oh my God, Ty's doing shows with a burnt out Glade plugin in the background. And then the next episode, it was gone. And then one episode, 10 later, he forgot and left it in. So fucking funny. But now you get off. And then we heard from somebody on the inside that he got really mad about that. Us making fun of his Glade plugin. And then he bought colored lights because we made fun of his wood paneled wall. And he bought the sign. As soon as I put up a wood sign, he put that sign up, which we all figured out was construction paper because the letters aren't... It's not one sign. It's the letters are all uneven. And it's what is that? Oh, fucking hell, man. So just really, really weird stuff. And then also apparently the artwork on the wall is by Crystal of Bobby and Crystal fame. They used to be friends. And then I told you, is this true, Bobby, that he gave you guys a dog? He had a dog that he didn't want because it was shitting too much. So he just gave it up. And again, I'm a new dog owner, but that's insane. If anybody touched my dog, I would fucking rape their mouth. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this guy's not a good guy. Ty goes to open mics to find his next ride to a road gig. That's 100% it. We've seen that with Amy Blackwell. We've seen that with Garrett Hall. We've seen that with Adam Dominguez and George White. We've seen that with now Ralph Tutela. And it's by the way, do you want a guy who says you're great and shit, and the minute you guys have a falling out, he's he was never funny anyway. He was never good anyway. I would have never worked with him anyway. It's just ugh. What a weird flip. It's again, there's nothing about this guy that says integrity. There's nothing about this guy that says it's that he tells the truth.
To hear them from me the way that they are. And yeah, I might say some stuff that sounds inflammatory, but I'm also over people getting mad at me for just telling the truth, because really that's all I've done in any of the situations I've been involved with lately, which have all involved me directly. And that's why I'm not putting up with a lot of the extra people that are like,
Oh my God, this is just confirmed from Bobby. Yeah, he ditched the dog at our place because the dog peed in his apartment too often. It's like, I'm telling you, these poor dogs. Ty's always gone. All he does is like one night a road gig. So he's gone Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Now look, when I go out of town, sometimes I'm gone 3 months, 5 months at a time. And I do have a dog now. But, you know, thank God I also have a Kathleen and the wonderful children. And they can watch the dog. I'm not retarded. I don't think that I can like leave my dog for 8 hours a day or not spend time with my dog. And, you know, that it's going to like behave. You have to like really work with them. And then, by the way, everything you do with a dog involves positive reinforcement. So like if your dog is peeing inside, it's because you're not paying attention to how often your dog needs to pee. And you should be proactively taking it outside to pee before it has a chance to pee inside. If you do that, it builds up a habit of, oh, we pee outside. You take them out on grass, they'll pee right away. They have an instinct to pee. But that's how you train a dog to go to the bathroom. You just go every 2 hours while they're a puppy. And then eventually they learn to hold it. And then you're going to take them out. When you take them out, you know, if you're not an inattentive dad who leaves for 9 hours, I guarantee you this dog's pissing and shitting in your house because you leave it alone all day long. I guarantee you. Crystal said, that's not my art. FYI, I gifted him some originals with the art stuff behind him is from another artist. Okay, good. Because we've torn it apart. Yeah. So when you give up a dog, because it's not potty trained, you're super lazy. It's one of the easiest things to teach a dog. One of the easiest things. And you just don't spend time with your dog. And you're not successful enough to spend time with your dog. Like, you really shouldn't have a pet. You know, when I gave up my dog, Chewy, my first dog, I had a Cocker Spaniel from 2003, two maybe, till 2009, and I had a full-time job. I started comedy in 2003, and I was house MC at the Tampa Improv and had a full-time job. That job allowed me to take time off and travel and do comedy. And in 2009, I decided that I was making enough money from this podcast to do it full time. And I've never worked another fucking regular job since. But in 2009, when I started traveling nonstop, 40 weeks a year doing comedy, that road life and that, you know, constant flying and opening for people, I gave my dog away to a young couple that wanted a dog and had time to spend with a dog. It would have been horribly selfish, as hard as it was for me to give up this dog, to keep that dog and keep putting it in kennel. It was not trained, so like people didn't want it after watching it one time. This was because I never had time for this dog. I had a full-time job. And then I would go do comedy at night. So I had no time to spend with this dog. It was really unfair. It was awful. So the right thing to do, I gave it away. This guy's a piece of shit. I hate him. Check with Ty. He's Las Vegas' newest resident headliner and should have the connections. Anyone have a hookup for VGK tickets? I'm willing to pay big cheddar. This guy's a weirdo, man. They're going to lose. Don't waste your time. Now watch everybody. Boo. Yeah, so, I mean, he's not a good person. Don't have a dog if you don't have time for a dog. And by the way, he wants somebody to come home to. So that's what you'll see him post it. Like, oh my God, I'm leaving now. I can't wait to get home to Bijou. It's like, ugh. Like, get a fucking friend. Hug a pillow. This poor fucking dog. Rescue her. I feel the same way about Bijou that I feel about Britney Spears.
I don't like Thai Rivera because of this. I don't like, well, you don't know Thai Rivera. You don't really hang out with me. So
imagine getting mad at no one. Did you feel his heart rate go up right there?
to have this list of reasons that you don't like somebody that you don't know seems pretty psychotic to me. And I'm not going to pretend that that's normal behavior. And I'm not going to pretend that that's something that's going to take up a lot of space in my life. And it's the reason that I had to stop talking to even the person that I was partnering with on this whole situation with the residency. The way that it all originally went down was I am probably more loyal and more about my word than most people would guess. That's one thing I'll tell you guys. And sometimes it is somewhat to my detriment, but in the end it always works out. So it can't be too detrimental when it ends up working out. But there are times that I think more about the people around me than they actually think about me. Like with this situation, I was supposed to be working with a guy named Ralph Tutela. Now,
I mean, anybody with any background in psychiatry will tell you this guy is such a megalomaniac, narcissistic fuck. Like, Jesus Christ. He even makes his thoughts about other people about himself. The thing about other people is, I don't think they think that I think about them as much as they don't think about me. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, God. I won't be talked down to by a man with the same tattoos as the lead singer of Crazy Town. Yeah. Come, my lady. Come, my... Is that Crazy Town? Crazy Horse? I don't know the bands anymore, man. I'm out of the loop. I'll tell you this. I never really liked Crazy Town, so don't know their hits. I'm sure they're all, every other one is a banger of Nickelback proportion.
As a person that I definitely did like. I don't know where I'm at with that 100%. And I'm just being honest with this because I don't know where I'm at with that. I feel like maybe you needed to get your head straight or whatever it is, because I've watched a couple of his Facebook lives that he's done where he's talked about the situation a little bit, and he doesn't say anything negative about me, which I appreciate, but really, why would you say anything negative about me? I did everything I was supposed to do. You didn't do what you were supposed to do, and so, maybe our feelings are a little bit incongruous when it comes to that, because I ended up having to do all the work that we were supposed to do together. And I made it all work in the end, but it sure would have been nice to have that help, especially when the way the situation played out is I'm probably going to give you guys a couple lessons here in stand-up or the way that shows work in the Vegas area, and that is what it is. It's just part of the way that it goes down. So if you guys can catch some notes, if you're a comic that's looking to know a little bit about the way things work here, then maybe you might want to
imagine Thai Rivera telling you how comedy works.
Get a pen and jot that down. But there are a couple different kinds of residencies that happen, okay? So there's sometimes when you have like a Celine Dion and they just want her at the casino because she's going to draw so many people in, and so they give her some big contract, and you hear about these multi-million-dollar contracts that like Britney Spears gets. Who else has gotten one? Kelly Clarkson, I think, had one for a minute. Christina Aguilera had one. Mariah Carey, Elton John. So you hear about those. And then there's like the smaller ones that are also the same kind of structure, but not as high visibility and high priced. And then there's what's called four-walling. And that's why I was very careful about the wording when I said.
Of course, Skagel thinks that song slaps. It's like a strip.
Like you rent the space and you
it's like a classic strip club song. He probably loves Cherry Pie too. He's like, no, that's a banger.
There are several reasons that I wanted it to be the Thunderbird and want it to be the Thunderbird. Honestly, I did used to live there back when I was working and when I was younger, and I think that that's a.
Actually, we did get some undercover behind the scenes audio of Ty. He thought he cut this out of the podcast, but apparently he left this in. Let's listen.
I hope everybody doesn't figure out that I still am a prostitute. I love cum. I just love cum, and I just can't help myself.
This is a lazy bit, and I'm phoning it in. We did it the other night. Okay, let's get back. I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens when I try to do a high show, but some of them have to be for me. I did 7 hours for you guys the other night, so cherry pie is a bop. Please stop talking over Ty. I'm trying to learn how Vegas comedy works. Look, you got a long way to go. But okay, long way from the top if you want to.
The fun part of
Work
it,
with
because
Todd.
yeah, I did used to live there when I was a whore. Technically, I tried to live at the Gold Spike, but the Gold Spike was like, it looks like you're trying to move in, and I was like, you might be right, because I always wanted to live in one of the old school hotels. I don't know why I liked that so much, but I liked it, and so and I could have lived anywhere. I mean,
Because you're comfortable in squalor. Sorry, that wasn't an overheard Ty bit.
like, it wasn't one of those things where it was like, you're down on your luck, so you're going to live in a motel. It wasn't like that at all. Technically, it was more expensive than renting a apartment at that time, and my credit wasn't bad, so it wasn't like, oh, I can't rent an apartment. I ended up getting an apartment later on after I got tired of living there, because the thing I don't like about living in a hotel is that you don't have a kitchen. Sometimes they have a kitchenette. Thunderbird did not have a kitchenette. Gold Spike, if I had lived in Gold Spike, I think if you live in a suite, then it has like a kitchen. But I've been in suites at the Four Queens.
This is how comedy works in Vegas, guys. You taking notes? Remember he told everybody to get a pen out before this? Now he's giving you a tour of the suites at the Gold Spike. You out of your fucking mind?
And they did not have like a kitchenette. So I don't know.
You guys think I ramble? Fuck you. Even high, I'm so much more focused than this fuck. Every show, he's Dr. Tangent. What are you talking about?
And they wouldn't let me live there, so I didn't even rent a room for a night because I wanted to actually live there. And so there's that part of my history that it plays.
Nobody telling the truth swallows that hard. And so
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
it's true, 100%. If Joe Pesci says.
Plays into, and then there's also the Red Fox.
Patrick is Ty. I've never seen them in the same place. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. These are all great theories, guys. Keep them coming in. Agent O, out.
Fox history, which is Red Fox in '76 had offended everybody, and because they went to see Sanford and Son, and they ended up getting Red Fox, and Red Fox was super dirty, and so there was that part of it. But
Did he just tell everybody that Red Fox is super dirty? What breaking fucking news? I bet he has all the record.
when we came up with the idea, well, originally when I had the
When I
idea,
saw Big Irish J had a comedy special, I got jealous and wanted to let the comics in Vegas know who's still got it. This is sadder than that time Brad Garrett tried to open a comedy club and come back from that Raymond show. How fucking pathetic. Oh, wait. He's somebody with skill. A recognizable name and talent. By the way, if you didn't like Brad Garrett and what was that? Fuck, I'm dying up here. It was such a fucking good show. Such a good show. God. If you spent any time in the Comedy Store, that show will give you fucking PTSD. I swear to God. Polly. Sorry.
and I was told that I could possibly end up using that room. I know that I had been talking to Ralph Tutela about that kind of stuff. So me being the kind of person that I am, I didn't want to cut Ralph out of the idea because we had talked about that several times. When I was still getting high or on my breaks from not getting high, or I should say on my breaks from being sober, I would get high with Ralph and he would talk about how he wanted
This
to do
just
something
sounds-
with me, and I was always like, yeah, I'm totally down.
If what I'll do now is just make everything so confusing that I can deny anything and be like, no, you misunderstand. When I was not getting high, or sorry, when I was taking breaks from getting high, or sorry, I should say when I was not taking breaks from not getting high, it's like, what? I didn't like you when this started. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
something with you. And so I had always kept him in mind. Same with Chris Storin. I had always kept him in mind when I was doing these things because we had talked about doing things. So originally it started off in my head where, because, you know, I mean, like, to be honest, I'm the one that's most likely to get a residency or figure something out. And that's just what it is. It's not being full of myself, and I don't care what either one of those people it's just what it is. So even they know that. And so, like, the thing was, like, I'll always keep them in mind. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I did hit both of them up at different points. Ralph Tutela was very big on it. And so Ralph went with me to a meeting, and what they were talking about as far as rent for the space was more than I wanted to do. So I hit them with a different offer. Then they said, come in and talk to us. When I came in to talk to them, it was still a bit higher than I wanted to be at. And it was actually quite a bit higher than I wanted to be at. But Ralph was like, we're going to make this happen. We'll figure this out. And he hyped me up, right? We were going to figure it out. And so I was like, all right, cool. If you say we're going to figure it out, then we'll figure it out. I know I'll do my part to figure it out, so I just need you to do your part.
So
he was fully on board. We went to El Paso.
I don't want to gloss over what's just been said here because this is banana nuts. He's saying, when I first came up with the idea, so the narcissism, I want credit. When I first came up with the idea, well, I approached two guys about it. Ralph Tutela was more hyped about it. So I sat down with Ralph Tutela and da-da-da-da-da. And then he just said, Ralph Tutela was more into it than me. He really talked me into it. And I was like, all right, if you're sure, then I know I'll do my part. But if you're sure, it's like, what the fuck? So now in some weird, wacky parallel universe, Ralph Tutela talked you into this? Okay.
We talked a bit about it on the way to El Paso. We hadn't made a full decision as far as actually closing with them. He's the one that picked the date that we were starting on. And then he hits me with that he's got to go to do some show in Utah, like the third week we're supposed to be doing it. And I was just like, how is that going to work? Because if we only have...
So hold on. Ty's calendar's empty on Friday and Saturday night for the next 2 months. And Ralph Tutela's isn't. Hold on. We made a deal that we would both go home without girls. You can't just get a girl now. I'll look stupid.
1 week, because the way that it was supposed to work.
It was the way. Imagine breaking down a bit. I'm telling you, it would be so embarrassing to go online and tell people like what flopped with your business deal, like, and he was supposed to, and I was, but you know he just didn't make that. But I said that. Oh God, you just said it was a success. Like the fuck.
We're already booked on, I think it's June 19th, and so we were gonna have June 18th. I think is the way that it worked.
Hold on, who's June 18th?
Or maybe the opposite. Either way, one of those days we were going to have a full weekend, which would have been last weekend, that we would have been able to do our 4 shows. Because originally I just wanted to do 2 shows, 1 show a night, Friday and Saturday. And then they were like, well, it makes more sense because of the way that we book out the room if you end up doing 2 shows. And so I was like, okay, we can do 2 shows, even though, like I said, I thought we should only do 1 each night. But whatever. I mean, like, I was fine. I was flexible. We can make this work. And
so he thought he should do 1 show a night. The venue goes, it'd be better if you did 2. So he's like, all right, we'll do 2. It's like there's no thought into this. And I'm sorry, you idiots who are still on board with like, I wanted him to succeed. He's my friend. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. No one doubles the total capacity of seats on a whim without thinking. By the way, when you're claiming to be running a strip show in Las Vegas, it's like you're out of your mind. Like if anybody was actually doing math and calculations and working at this, how many marketing dollars? What's our acquisition going to cost to get butts in seats? If anyone had crunched any of these numbers, there's no way you'd be like, all right, well, we have 200 seats to fill every weekend. And they'd be like, it'd be better if you did 4. And you'd be like, all right, we'll try 4. I'm flexible. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one who knows what they're doing does that. And someone who's been in comedy for 20 years claims they know how the whole business works, claims taking out, back out, right? It's like, are you fucking retarded? Open micers were laughing about how this was going to flop. They had talked to Ralph and were like, dude, what are you doing? Don't do this. And he was like, oh, yeah, this guy's a fucking idiot. Jesus, man. It's so cringe when you say things like that. I'm an expert. Write it down, kids. We want you to do double the shows. Okay. The king is already like you, which is, you know, you not even close to royalty. And then Ralph Tutela, because he was the latest barnacle to give you a ride. Jesus Christ, it's embarrassing, man. Fucking hell.
It will, like, doing 2 shows instead of 1 a night does give us more opportunities to make money. And so I'm fine with the way everything's going at that point. But the other thing was, we were going to be able to do
you hear all these gulps? The other thing was, we were going to be, it's like, Jesus, man. Jesus.
full weekend. Then we were going to have a week where we only had 1 day. So we would have 3 shows under our belt. And then Ralph was going to leave, and I was supposed to be in charge of everything for that week. And I was like, I don't really know that we're going to have it down like that. Plus, you're going to who knows where, Utah, to go do some show. And a lot of these shows that comics think they're doing, and I know this because I've been doing this for so long, are really glorified open mics. They're not making real money. It's not really worth it. You just want to feel like you're a comic by going on the road.
It's like these are most of the shows Ty goes and does. All his openers have messaged me and talked to me. I've heard about the stories of like them making like $50 and Ty making like $150 to drive 9 hours. No hotel. It's like, ugh. This is where you've gotten in 20 years, man? Jesus Christ. Somebody said listening to him is like clicking every hyperlink in a Wikipedia article at the same time. Fuck, it's so bad. Like and also to not have the self-awareness of it. To just be like, I'm killing it. I'm the best. Yada, yada. It's like, you're welcome nowhere. And somehow that circle's getting smaller. It's like, you were the champion for Chonkless, man. How you're out at Chonkless is crazy now. That was all you had. That's why you made the residency. Everyone wants to be a headliner, but no one wants to be a headliner. I feel bad for Dante Verduzco, who got roped into like emceeing this shit.
And I get that, but at the same time, I'm so far removed from that part of my career. Even back then, I wasn't big on just going on the road, just to go on the road, just to feel like I'm doing something, which is what I noticed with a lot of comics, Ralph included. They want to feel like they're doing more than they're doing, when really they could stay stationary and actually be, in fact, doing more. And so
again, you know, this is so cringe. We're talking about a guy who threw his own birthday party. 24 people came. If we take the highest ticket, by the way, let's double it to 50. I doubled it to 50. 50 times 20 is what? How many dollars is that? 10 times 50 is 500. 20 times 50 is 1,000. So it's $1,000 he made. Ralph Tutela paid $1,200 up front for the venue, allegedly. And he's out that money. Now, I called this. We all knew it would happen. And unfortunately, nobody got to Ralph in time. And he cut the check. Because Ty has nothing. No money. When you see the apartment, Ty, you know, he uses it for his business address. We showed it on the show the other night. He puts it at the bottom of his email. Okay. Apartment 174 or whatever it was. Like, look, man, we saw the apartment. We looked it up online. It's so crazy. Like they're like the saddest little 400 square foot 1 bedroom. It's so that's why it's like people sitting in his kitchen when he's doing a podcast and he has to put up another painting to like block the sink and the white tile countertops. But yeah, man, the delusion is so strong. I don't know if there's any overcoming it with this shit.
That was something I kind of brought up to Ralph, and I was like, yeah, I don't think
Imagine
it's a
if
good
your
idea.
whole podcast is you explaining your people's accusations of you, like every week. And the thing with that was, and what people need to know is, and I think what people forget about me.
Idea if we do it, if that's your plan. What I didn't realize is he also had a plan to be gone a week before. Now, because of the way we settled everything, or when we settled everything, we basically had like 3.5 weeks, not even a full month, to promote the 2 shows. So I had a strategy, and I was like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to stream this, and we're going to sell this streaming, and you push really hard on your end. I know he has a smaller fan base than I do, and so I was fine with the fact that he was going to bring in less money in that way than I was, and I knew that from the beginning, and we had discussed that from the beginning. So facts are facts, and that's just what it was. But I felt like if he works hard enough, because that's the kind of person that I am, if you work hard enough, I will make up what it is you lack. And I'm very comfortable in that position, and that's something I've always done. So when it comes to that, I was fine with that, but I need you to work as hard as you can possibly work. And when you're talking about going to some open mic, and then, you have something else you're headlining in Redlands, California, which, okay, whatever, but it's just like you're really seeming like you're just not wanting to really do stuff. And so I'm still keeping my mouth shut, because it's like, all right, well, if you say you can do everything you're supposed to do and then we still do our thing, then it's fine. Or you still do your thing, then it's fine. I don't care about that, because eventually, yeah, you will be able to go on the road or whatever. But I just think in the beginning it's not the smartest idea. But like I said, if you're able to do both, then show me you can do both. But then he's in town and I'm in like Little Rock, Arkansas, and doing the stuff.
Oh my God, this Crystal chick just sent me a doodle of Thai wearing a t-shirt that says "played out." I like that. She's just doodling. That's great. I think that's great. Get high, put the kids to bed, get high, and doodle while you listen to a madman rant.
That I have to do, and he's not doing the stuff he's supposed to do here. Instead, he goes out to the open mics to gloat to the comedians, and then the comedians fucking chop his balls off, put him in his pocket, and send him on his way, which is what I know happened. Because here...
So hold on. In Ty's opinion, Ralph Tutela went out to an open mic. All his friends said, dude, don't do this thing with Ty. It's not going to work. Ty's not going to sell any tickets. This is going to flop. Don't do this. It's going to look bad. Everyone told him this. In Ty's, and then so Ralph goes back and goes, yeah, I'm not going to do this, man. Sorry. In Ty's mind, that what he's saying that is Ralph went to the bar, all of his friends cut his balls off, and then he ran away. It's like, it sounds like he got balls and then stood up to you and put you in your place. And by the way, then you stole $1,200 from him, according to him.
Here's the way it went. Like, we're talking, we've got all these plans we got to start working on. I'm thinking about the way the idea can work. I'm on the phone with Stephen Roberts, because Stephen Roberts... Okay, sorry about that. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty. But the thing with Stephen Roberts is the kind of person that's like works in both worlds. Like, he's really good at the creative part, and he's also really good at the business part, or at least when it comes to translating the things that I say from just being my messy creative self to...
He's not, and he claimed the Laughed Out Loud Comedy Festival he threw last year with Stephen Roberts and Jocelyn Sharp was a giant success and a big, big thing. I wouldn't know. I was on tour in Australia. The point is, also claims the same about this show. So if that was the same, I haven't heard, anything about it, and I have reserved judgment. I wasn't at the festival. I can't call it. But if he thinks this residency was a hit, ugh.
Sounding a bit more professional. Like, if I come up with a bio and I run it by him, he can reword it and he can make it sound more professional. And so I really do lean on Stephen Roberts quite a bit. And I've always leaned on
With
him
your
quite a bit in that
dick?
way when it comes to us working on projects together. And I'm also the kind of person that... One of the problems me and Ralph had was Ralph was thinking it was going to be just me and him, which, yeah, that's great if you're doing everything that you're supposed to do and you're able to make up for the things that I can't do. But if you're not that guy, then we need to take on somebody that is that kind of person and have them.
It's a good thing you guys gave yourself 3 weeks.
There's also my friend Dee who came out to help, and she works for Tixer, and she's really good with organizing things. She's also really good with putting together like deals and packages and stuff.
I can't believe, I got really weird when I saw that like Dee Burdett was helping throw this. And I haven't talked to Dee in probably 5-6 years. But I used to really like Dee and get along with Dee, and she's great. And I used to always do Dee's shows. She used to work at the Improv in Hollywood. Way, way back in the day. And the fact that she's like, I don't know if Ty's paying her or what's happening, but he's bringing out Stephen Roberts to help with the business, and she's going to help with tickets and making centerpieces. It's like, and now does he have a box of sad centerpieces at his house from his failed dream? Like, what are we doing, man? Imagine I assume she still lives in California. Imagine driving out from California for 3 days to help this idiot set up 7 tables for 21 nut jobs to sit around and watch him delude himself on stage with puns and dick jokes. Literally. Riddled with, sprinkled in between meandering stories about the times he was assholes to people who didn't deserve it on the road. Like, that's all his set was, man. So I'm not on board with anyone who's going like, Ty's actually really funny. No. You're confusing it. You've seen him do well. He's not funny. And by the way, if you think he's actually funny, then that's fine. But I think you're all confused. Because I was. Because I've seen him do well. He's not funny. I've seen him do well. And that's more of a fucking testament to how dumb we are as a people. Gay minority likes Trump. How about bad comic? Boo. Where's the graphic? Right, Jay? Fucking boo. Oh, here we go.
Like that. So she was going to be great, not only for marketing, but sales and just in general, really good at coming up with.
She's going to be really great for knocking that stuff out of the park. Clearly. That's why there were 10 streaming sales and 14 other sales for live in-person tickets. We've seen the numbers.
With ideas with stuff like that. And she's been in stand-up, working in the comedy world for, I want to say, over 20 years. I mean, Dee has real experience, used to run the showroom at the Hollywood Improv, worked for Laugh Stub, which was handling all the ticketing for all of the improvs.
Yeah, she wasn't getting all the...
She's really good with
I hate to let you know
computers.
this secret. She wasn't the one pulling people into the Hollywood Improv. It kind of has a reputation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she didn't do any of that stuff. I loved Dee, but she's fucking out of her mind if she came out here to help you with this for nothing. Like, this is craziness, man. the number of people you roped into helping you, like I really feel bad for anybody whose life you're touching, because they're gonna get bit. There's a long line again, a sad wagon trail of tears of just friends you fucked over. It's not a good look, dude.
So much that D brings to the table. And so Ralph started to let me know that he was getting insecure about all of the people that I had around me because he was feeling like they were going to think that he wasn't doing anything and they were going to push him out. And I also know
Ralph was insecure and getting threatened by all the other people getting involved. Like Stephen Roberts, D. Burdett, who he has no idea who is. Who, the Asian keyboard guy? Dante Verduzco? No, he got involved 2 hours before. Asian keyboard guy last minute. Angie Crum said it on stage. Sorry, didn't have time to prep for this. Just got thrown in. This is everybody he could get, man. And by the way, Stephen Roberts is a better comic than everybody who was there. He wouldn't even do this show. None of his funny friends would do this show. It's weird, man. Crazy. The funniest guy on your show is Dante Verduzco. All right.
that everybody that works with me, everybody that helps me out, trusts my judgment and knows that I'm, going to be in charge.
Do you hear the swallows? And the thing is, everybody who knows me trusts me and knows I'm going to do what I say. It's just like, fuck, man. Ask anybody who knows anything about this stuff. This is textbook. This is mania.
That way, because it's, at the end of the day, it's my idea, it's my baby. And in a lot of these situations, I'm the one that is connected to the people that we're working with. Like when it comes to Chanclas, I have a really good relationship with the people with Chanclas, and then that's why we were doing it in the
There's no relationship with them anymore.
Thunderbird was because it was through the people at Chanclas that were helping me like figure everything out and making everything work.
Also, like, is he deluded? Like this was in the ballroom space of this hotel. It wasn't in Chanclas Cantina. Okay. So, like, does he think that this ballroom's going to be free every Friday and Saturday night for him to go in there and just tell his shitty gay puns? It's like, fuck, man. Are you out of your mind? 1 weekend you lasted. And God, we know that was a struggle. Please stay for the second show. Please stay for the second show.
On that end. And they were really great with me. But like, that's my relationship with them. So there was no way that Ralph was going to get pushed out because I was going to allow Ralph to get pushed out. So that didn't have to be any kind of issue, but he had let me know that that was a thing for him. And when I really started to know that it wasn't probably going to work out, there was one night when I was in Little Rock. And so we're probably about 2 weeks out from having to do the show, maybe a little less than 2 weeks out from having to do the show. And I'm really plugging away at selling the streaming. I'm hitting people up DM, and in order for me to do that, I do it through Venmo. Like, that's the way I do it, and direct payments like that. And so part of my motivation when I'm doing it is I'm hitting people up, and I'll just hit people up. And when I say that I'm not using any kind of automation for that.
So imagine, and again, since I've known Ty, he's been begging for people to send him money on Cash App and Venmo. This guy, I think it goes back to his like hooker days, because he just like used to just work like begging for money. It's so gross, man. I'm telling you guys. I have more respect for a comic working a job than begging for money on his Cash App. Guys, hit me up on Cash App. Support my comedy. Ugh. That's not how it works, dipshit. Who are you, Sarah Schaefer?
I'm really not. It's me sitting there repetitively, copy and paste, also adding a quick message if I know the person particularly close. And in a lot of cases, I do know people, so I'll hit them up with the quick, like, personal part and then be like, and get ready for the copy and paste. And then I'll hit them with, like, the copy and paste that has all the details. And while I'm doing that, you know, I'll send a bunch of them, and then all of a sudden people
And you guys wouldn't believe it. I'm selling 2s of tickets.
will start hitting me up on my instant messenger, hitting me back, bing, bing, bing. So I'm hearing like people, and they're like, how do I pay? How do I get this? And so that's happening at the same time. And then my Venmo's going off at the same time. So I'm having to send them payment information or ways that they can pay me. So it's like this whole system that I have that gets kind of messy in my head sometimes, even when I'm doing it, but I just really plug away at it.
He's describing having no system as a cool system that he has. Still think this is a cool guy. Still think this is a fun, cool guy. Like, I went, okay, I guess. Nuts.
And since I do have a history in data entry, it's like, for me,
I have a history in data entry. Brag more.
it's second nature to do these things, even though, like I said, it gets a little messy in my head, and I'll do it until my eyes are buggy. There was one night that I thought Instant Messenger was going to suspend me because I did so many of them, and there were so many coming back, because my thing is, I just know that I have to raise money so we don't lose our shirts in this situation. Like, the plan was to make it so we had already made money by the time the doors opened, so we didn't really have to worry about bringing people in, because every single person that I talk to that runs any kind of shows, and I do have a lot of friends that are in that world because I've done so many shows now, they were all very generous with.
So now he's bragging about how much help he had, but it's like, this is what you did with all the help? He had a staff of like 10 people and he sold 24 tickets.
Me and giving me information, giving me pointers, helping me out with the different things that I would just need to know if I'm doing this kind of situation. And everybody knows that when I really decide I'm going to do something, it's going to turn out well, because I'm going to make sure that it turns out well, just like Laughed Out. And I do admit, Jocelyn and Steven really were equal contributors when it came to Laughed Out. There was one part that was really my part, and I dominated in that part because that was my part. But, and also because that's the part I'm good at. And so I dominated in my particular part, but they also had their ways that they dominated too. And so it was a very good relationship between the three of us for Laughed Out. And they also saw things the way I saw things, because I don't want things to be rinky-dink. I don't want things to seem unprofessional. And there are certain corners you're going to have to cut in certain ways, but that doesn't mean it has to look like you cut corners. In some cases, it's just like, it's not even cutting corners. It's just having to make compromises, because it's like your budget is here and your wants are here. And so you have to find the compromise between your wants and what your actual reality is, so you don't, again, end up losing money or end up in a bad situation. And then you want to be able to pay the talent that you're supposed to pay, and you want to be able
This is overheard audio from guys, we just got some overheard audio from Ty's personal note recorder. It goes like this.
Note to self. How you do a show is, first you get a place to do the show, and you pay some money for the space to do the show, and then you sell the tickets to the show, and then when you get the money from the tickets to the show, you give that money to the comics for the show. So they're giving you the money for the tickets, and people come to the show. And then you use that money and you pay for the show to have a show, and put on a show, and then you do a show, and then they send you that money, and that's how Hollywood works. Get a pen.
I was an only child too, so
to pay the technical people what you're going to pay them, and like, you want everything to run that way. And I already knew that from Laughed Out. And so it was like, and also because I used to produce shows when I was first starting out. Technically, that's kind of the way I started. I was really promoting my own shows, and then Nick Cervantes, who I've talked about before, is a good friend of mine. He's the one that produced my first album. Like, really, he did produce my first album, even though he never gives himself credit like that. But he really did a lot of work for me, and he also showed me a lot when it came to promoting. And so Ralph was supposed to do like street team part of it, but he's also supposed to be hitting people up the same way I was, and he wasn't doing that. Instead, on that particular Wednesday, because each night after my shows in Little Rock, I would go back to the condo that they put us in, the house that they put us in, the comic house, and while the feature's out doing what he's doing, because I worked with a guy named Eric Escobar, and Eric was really cool, but he's like a bit younger than I am, more of a party guy, and not in a bad way at all. It's not like it's a problem. It's not like it affected. He had great sets. He was cool.
Remember that house?
And professional guy, but a lot of
Landry and I spent many nights in that house together, touching each other.
comics like to blow off some steam and go party with the locals and stuff like that. So he would go do that, and then I'd be back at the room, like doing my copy and pasting and hitting people up, and like I said, making money. And then
Why the fuck you lying?
when I go to the
Why
gym,
you
I
always
walk to the gym,
lying?
like a 30-minute
Oh
walk
my
to
God.
the gym.
Stop
And that whole time
fucking
I'd be
lying.
doing business stuff, and then I'd be talking to people about different ideas. And like I said, the people that run different shows were very generous with me and the information that they give me and the help that they give me and the advice that they give me. And so and I'm very, very open to that. Like, I'm not the guy that's like, well, I want to do it this way and this is the way we like. For me, I'm so in touch with just like, okay, let's make this happen the way we need to make it happen. You tell me.
Yeah,
what I
Moody
need to be
makes a
doing,
great point.
And I'll take in that
And
advice. And
it's because he doesn't really know how to use any of these programs. He edits everything in like Windows Movie Makers and shit. It's so bad. But Moody said, I love how he takes the name Unbothered so seriously. He doesn't crop the white background from the subscribe button in the bottom right. He's like, yeah, it just like he has no idea what he's doing. It's a sad display. Imagine if the guy had just done laughed out too at Chonkla's instead. Somebody said, I just can't with this guy. So these are all the sentiments of his public.
I'll, adapt to that. And so, anyway, so one night I'm doing this, and it's like 4, 5 in the morning, my time. Yeah, probably closer to 5. And Ralph was back here in Las Vegas, and he hits me up on Messenger and is like, call me whenever you get a minute, or call me whenever. And so I'm thinking he wants to talk about business, and I'm like, all right, cool. He wants to talk about the show. And if I'm working on a project like that, I'll talk to you about it at any hour you want to talk about it. As long as I'm awake, I'm down to talk about it. And so, and if there's something that's super important and you have to wake me up, then wake me up and let's talk about it. So I was working on everything, but I was like, I can take a quick break and talk to Ralph and see what it is he has to say. And so I go ahead and respond. I give him a call, and then he's like, I'm with Adam right now. Do you care if I'm talking to Adam or sitting next to Adam while I'm talking to you? And I'm just like, Adam who? And then he's like, that's so funny. That's what I love about you, is you'll say stuff like that. And I was like, no, I really don't know which Adam you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about. And I genuinely meant that, because I'm just 100% in work mode right now. Like,
people always stop me in the street and go, that's what I love about you. yeah, I love that.
that's all I'm thinking about is work and making this money. That's all that's on my mind. And so he is like, Adam Dominguez. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't care about that. Like, whatever. And I was like, what is it you wanted to talk to me about? And he was like, it's just, there's some people that are really against you right now. There's some people that are really against you. Like, Brad Goulby. And I was like, Brad Goulby? Why would I fucking care about Brad Goulby?
Cover
Brad
your
Goulby
ears,
shouldn't
Moody.
care about Brad Goulby. Brad Goulby is a non-issue. Did you interrupt me working to tell me what Brad Goulby thinks about me? Are there any other open micers you want to throw at me that have an opinion about me? No. And to tell you the truth, I know most of you are like, who is Brad Goulby? Brad Goulby. Good question. Brad Goulby doesn't matter. Brad Goulby is a legit open micer beginner that doesn't matter, isn't particularly funny, isn't an issue on the Vegas comedy scene even. Like, I don't even know why I'm being bothered.
He's almost going to cry. He's not an issue on the Vegas comedy scene even. You sound like, who was that old Hanna-Barbera cartoon? Exit, stage left even. It was like a cat. Snagglepuss. What was his name? Snooker Cookie Puss. Snagglepuss. Oh boy, exit. Stage left even. Ralph was drunk when that happened. It was kind of hilarious. Brad is great. Okay.
With Brad Goulby's thoughts. Brad Goulby, the last time I saw him, we gave each other a hug. We were friendly. We were cool. I like his girlfriend.
Brad says that never happened. Brad messaged me and said, just publicly, the last time he saw Ty came over to the group of people Brad was talking to, awkwardly shook hands with everybody except Brad, and then walked away. By the way, I've heard other interactions like that, so it's like, it's becoming increasingly uncomfortable for Ty to walk into rooms. Everyone is talking, man.
Friend Sarah.
Where will he go next, guys? Where do you think he'll go next? What city? Denver, I'm betting. Portland, let's hope.
I didn't understand why Brad Goulby would have a problem with me, nor do I care. Because I know my relationship with Brad Goulby, and it's not that deep. We haven't talked in at least, I want to say, a month is the last time I saw him, because I see him at some of the open mics. It's not like I don't know who he is, but we haven't had any problems. So I don't know why he would have any kind of problem with me, and the fact that he does have any kind of problem with me only speaks to his psychosis and the fact that he's not mentally healthy, because unless you're having arguments with me that I'm not a part of, then we shouldn't have a problem. And if you're pulling that shit that like, oh, I wasn't nice to one of your friends, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not in school like that. I don't care about who your friends are. I mean, like, if you choose not to talk to me, if you don't like me, if you're against me, which I don't even know what Brad Goulby being against me would entail. Like, what, he's talking badly about me? I don't care even a little bit. I really meant what I said. Brad Goulby shouldn't even care what Brad Goulby thinks. It's just a non-issue. But I'm getting bothered by Ralph about this. And then he mentioned a couple other names that I'm going to leave out of it because I really don't know why he even brought these people to my attention. The reason I bring up Brad Goulby is because he mentioned him and then he was like, don't go after Brad Goulby now. And I was like, why would I go after Brad Goulby? Like, even me talking right now isn't me going after Brad Goulby. Brad Goulby is a non-issue altogether. Point blank period. Full stop. Just a non-issue. I don't even know how that name got brought up. And like I said, I just bring it up to you guys to let you guys know the level of nobody that Ralph is actually caring about at this point. And the fact that I'm so in work mode right now that I wouldn't care if it was the president of the United States that was against me. I'm just in work mode right now. And I know that you guys know every once in a while I'll get in the shit and I'll be complaining about different things and talk about different people. And there was the Trick situation and Jimmy Kimmel's sister and Bobby and Crystal. And I don't deny any of those things. But the thing that people should know about me is, yes, I will every once in a while play in the mud. I fully do admit that. But I also know for a fact
6
from life
months
experience
later.
that sometimes it's time to put your toys away and actually go to work. It's time to put your head down and not worry about what anybody is saying about you and accomplish what it is you're setting out to accomplish or you have set out to accomplish. So when he brought this up to me, I could tell that he cares about people that really don't matter. And that's fine if you want to do that. But at a point, I am going to get tired of you because I don't need you bringing negative energy to me when I'm in full-on work mode. I don't care, like I said, about anybody at that point. Even Adam Dominguez. I've told you guys the story about Adam Dominguez, and I don't know where anybody gets that I hate Adam Dominguez or I don't like Adam Dominguez. Adam Dominguez is a non-issue. I don't think Adam Dominguez is professional. I don't think he conducts himself in a professional manner, so I choose not to deal with him. Adam Dominguez has feelings about that and tries to make it seem like I don't like him, but he doesn't really fully grasp that he's just not anything for me. Like I saw him tonight. I said nothing to him. I have nothing to say to him. Technically, I have nothing to say about him. It's just somebody else brought it up to me tonight where they were like, yeah, Adam Dominguez says you don't like him. And I'm like, yeah, it's not even that deep with Adam Dominguez either. I mean, I don't think people know what it looks like when I really don't like somebody. When I
No, we've never seen you be passionate about anything.
Yeah, I mean,
did he hear me?
There's nobody.
Holy shit!
On this
Smoke weed every day.
Tricks. I don't actively dislike him. He's just a non-issue for me too. Like these people don't get. Like they just become where they don't exist. So it's not about like not like or whatever. And whoever doesn't like me, they're free to not like me. I don't care. I don't need people to like me. That's the thing. I mean, like as far as just fans and comedy fans and stuff like that, I'm cool with them because they're the people.
By the way,
really
we do have a lot of new people here tonight, and people don't know this. We try to make this fun. These shows drag on for hours where Ty just lies and lies and lies and rehashes the same feuds over and over. Just as Bobby said a minute ago in the chat room. Oh, good. He's mentioned my wife and I for the 10th time. It's like 10th. You're dreaming. But we came up with a little way to make this fun. What you do, you head over to nobodylikesonions.com/Ty Bingo. This is going to give you a bingo card of the things Ty repeats every show. If you don't like your bingo card, hit refresh. We'll get a new bingo card right away. Play along. Play the game. By the way, what we'll do tonight, let's start the game right now. Everybody head over there right now. We'll give away one of our new hats. One of our new hats we have in the store. Right now, a red or a white. I wore one the other night. We'll give one of these away to the first person who gets bingo and can prove it with a screenshot email to me. But all you do, again, head over to nobodylikesonions.com/Ty Bingo. Load up your card, and let's get playing. There's still plenty of Ty stuff to get through. People will hit bingo. Play along with us, okay? You're going to love the way it makes his stuff more palatable, okay? Not the most disgusting thing
In the world.
right? Okay, head over there. nobodylikesonions.com/Ty Bingo. You can play right with us.
happen. They're the people that buy tickets, they're the people that show up to shows, and they're the people that are really good to me. So why would I not be nice to them? But I'm just not desperate for people to like me all the time. I don't live that kind of life where I'm constantly thinking about who does and doesn't like me. And I began to see that this is something for Ralph, where he does want people to like him. That's why he went out that night. He had no business going. It was just an open mic, and he's talking about how he doesn't like open mics anyway, but he went to that one to gloat and tell everybody he's one of the kings of Las Vegas and kind of put his stamp down. And instead, like I said, they chopped his balls off, put him in his pocket, and sent him on his way. And they did a good job of it,
He's not one of the kings of Las Vegas. But that's just not accurate. He's been doing comedy 4 years. Like, look, let's have some healthy confidence. By all means, but he's not the king, one of the kings of Vegas. That's insane. You guys are so dumb and desperate. It's very weird stuff. Not me. I'm cool. I'm a cool guy.
because like he was on the phone trying to tell me about who doesn't like me and who's against us, and we're still going to make this happen. And I was like, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to make happen what I need to make happen. Like, none of these people are any kind of issue anyway. I mean, like, even if you take somebody like that they think matters, like Ian Rainier, who's a open mic producer, like, I don't care anything about Ian Rainier. Technically, I was open to working with Ian because he has sound and we needed sound. And so
Technically, I was only working with Ian because he has sound and we needed sound. He just uses people. And then he doesn't understand what he's saying even. He's just like, what? It's just like, ugh. It's like if you really had planned this, people would help you. This is another one of your half-baked schemes, like your Patreon, like your gay comedy festival. You can't commit to anything. No relationships work out. Professional, personal, romantic. It's not them. It's you.
I told Ralph, like, you know, I've had my problems with Ian, but if, you know, he wanted to just bury it and help us out, and Ian wasn't open to that, and I didn't take that as a negative thing. You know, I didn't take that as like, oh, well, fuck Ian if he doesn't want to help us. I don't care. And then Ralph told me on that same phone conversation that he had told some of the comics there that Ty's going to be paying attention to who's not there, and he's going to take note of it. And I was like, that's not my thinking at all. Like, really, I don't
giant gulp
care if any of the comics don't show up, because a lot of times comics aren't good audience. They'll sit in the back of the room and they'll talk. Some comics did show up to the show, and I'm very appreciative to them, or should I say shows, and I'm very appreciative to them because pretty much every comic that showed up to the shows behaved like a regular audience member. They sat in.
He kicked
like,
two
seats,
comics
you know,
out,
and they
including one that was on the show.
They were really audience, and I appreciate that, and that's something.
He kicked Angie Crum out. He kicked out comics from the back of the room. He even yelled, all the comics can leave. If you're a comic, get out. I don't need to take this shit for people who do what I do. Remember? He said all this. The show's up now. It's over 3 hours long. It's up on our YouTube now. Give us a like and a subscribe, by the way, okay? Because we try to do it dirty like that.
I'll do for people too when they're running a show. That's why I tell you guys, sometimes I'm out at different shows because I'm there behaving like an audience member. I'm not a distraction in the back of the room. I'm actually watching the show. But just to have comics or just to have them, and like I would pay attention to who is and isn't there, there's a million reasons that comics wouldn't show up to a show, and they don't necessarily have to be that they don't like you or they're not in support of you. Sometimes comics won't show up to the show because they have a date, because they've been doing a bunch of sets and they're just tired of stand-up for the night, because they're out of town, because they're out of town working, because they're working another club. It's like because they feel that it's more beneficial to go to an open mic than go watch a show, which isn't something that I would hold against anybody, because that's something I've been guilty of before myself, which, like, I put guilty in quotes because
this is painful.
That's what we're supposed to do as comics. If you have a night where you're like, I want to work on these jokes, there's an open mic going and you can either go watch a show or you can work on your stuff, then I would say comic to comic that you should work on your stuff. And so I was not at all in support of him speaking on my behalf in that way, and that's not something I ever need from anybody.
Gulps.
And I see a lot of people trying to do that with me right now, and I do use unbothered in that way because I know a lot of the people that hear this stuff about me do pay attention to this podcast. I know the fact that I've mentioned names, and I'm going to mention more names as I go through, is going to make more people on the Vegas scene pay attention to this particular episode, even if they never admit that they actually watched or listened to the episode.
We're trying.
People are going to pay attention, and they're going to hear me say with my own words that these aren't things that I care about. And if you think about it on the opposite side, there is no benefit to me lying to you guys about this, because really I'm not lying in a way that makes me sound particularly good. Technically, the things I said make me sound more like an asshole than anything else. So there's really no benefit to me saying this other than it's just the truth. You know, it's just, I don't care if people don't show up or if people don't want to pay attention or whatever. I mean, like, why? But I also don't need the person that's partnering with me telling me about what it is people said. And Adam Dominguez has like actively tried to like besmirch my name. And I, at first, that
Thai school.
But now I'm getting to the point where I don't even care about that, because the truth is the people that know me, and the people that are above a certain level aren't thinking about any
Thai
of the
school,
people that I mentioned, whether it's
I hate when
Mingus,
people
Brad
report.
Colby,
I hate when
any
people
of
report.
Ralph Tutela.
I hate when
even.
people
Like,
report.
These people just aren't a part of the world that I really do occupy, which I think sometimes people think I occupy the Las Vegas open mic scene, which no, I just do sets on the open mic scene when I want to do sets. But even that I'm starting to do less and less. Like, the people that I talk to are all above that. So I don't really know why
Let's
these
understand.
things would factor in. And like I said, so
Let's understand what just happened, because Ty is accused. He's like, why would anybody listen to this Patrick Melton guy? I never see him out at the open mics. He's not even part of the Vegas scene. Yada yada yada. Meanwhile, I'm like out of the country, anywhere from 5 to 9 months of the year. You know, I come home. I do Dirty at 12:30. I LA Comedy Club. I do spots at the Hilarious 7. Real shows, you know. I've done some of the Rick's Rolling Smoke. I've done the mics. It's like, oh, because when I'm home, I don't want to fucking like go out on a Tuesday night to a smoky bar and like try new material for 16 people maybe who aren't paying attention, half of which or more are comics. You know, what do I get out of that? I don't learn anything about the joke, whether it works or there's no real feedback or anything that helps me. I'm experienced enough of as a comic to know kind of where a joke's at before I ever do it on stage anyway. I can kind of run it through the AI of my mind and know how it'll do if executed correctly. So, like, you know, I've always been like, okay, and you guys are all like, he's not even out at the mics. He's not even out at the mics. And now Thai Rivera's going like, you know, the people that I really want to like aspire to be, they don't even hang out at the mics. They're above the mics. So like maybe that's, I'm starting to not even go anymore because I'm really above that. Like it's like, oh, so now it's the upper echelon. Like what the fuck is happening? It's like a goldfish in a bowl saying it doesn't know what a manatee is. Is it? Someone hitting the I don't care button for Patrick's resume. What? The fuck does that mean? Oh, fuck. It's so nuts. It's so nuts, man.
all of it to me just really wasn't making sense. And when it came to Ralph and him talking about that, I was like, well, are you trying to work on this project, or are you trying to say a big fuck you to the open mic scene? Because that's not the point of me doing the things that I'm doing either. It's not to say fuck you to the open mic scene. For me, I'm just trying to elevate myself and make it so that I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do. Like, that's what I'm doing, is I'm just creating the future that I actually want to have for myself. That's my thinking. It's not anything to do with anybody else. You know, I'm like, it all is what it is. I don't know what it is people think that I mean, like, why would
you know what
I
I'm saying?
try
That's good what it is, y'all.
to live up
you know
to
what it
this
is, man.
idea of me when I know the real me? You know, there are certain people that I've chosen to cut off lately. That's the way to say that, right? But yeah, there are people that I've chosen to cut off, like Garrett Hall tonight, or earlier last night, I should say, because, you know, I've been up all night because I didn't wake up until, let me be honest, like 7 or 8 p.m. last night. That's when I woke up. And so, like, now it's 9 or 10 in the morning, and I've been awake for 12 hours. So I basically had a regular day. I'm going to stay up extra long today because I want to get my
Why are
sleep
you
schedule
telling
back
us
on
this?
a more regular schedule.
I got up late yesterday. I've been up 12 hours, and I'm going to stay up longer today because I'm trying to get regular sleep. It's just like, you were in the middle of a story, man. Focus. That's me saying this.
Like, I'm being so productive right now that I can't really say I'm not doing things the right way. Like, right now I'm uploading the video because we weren't able to do the streaming, which I'll get to in a minute, but I'm uploading that video so that the people that bought the streaming will still have something that they can watch, you know, because that was the agreement, that was the compromise when I wasn't able to do the streaming. And so
The compromise. he couldn't do this. He could do the streaming. He didn't want to do the streaming or figure it out or have anybody who was smart enough. So he said, I suck. Whatever. I'll send you a video. And now that was the compromise. Like, oh, okay.
So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Last
Again,
night,
remember, we bought a ticket. We didn't know if there wasn't a stream. We got a reminder that there was a stream, but no information. No communication. This was a complete disaster. See, some of the people bought tickets from Ralph. Like, it was a fucking nightmare. 24 fucking tickets he sold. We saw the receipt.
I decided to cut off Garrett Hall, and the reason I decided to cut off Garrett Hall was I sent him a text message about it and just told him, like, because I see him out every once in a while, and I've talked about Garrett Hall on the podcast before. I've always been very complimentary about the fact that he is a hard worker and he is professional, and we would work together, and that's all great and it's fine. But what bothered me with Garrett Hall is I don't think he realizes the extent that I've gone to bat for him in different situations. There are different places that I tried to get him in where they were a little bit hesitant.
He says Garrett Hall is a good comic. He does his time as a feature. He says
anyway, so I give her a hug just to make her feel welcome, and then she starts going to this thing like, oh my God, you're like my tias, and I'm Gen Z, and the fact that you're even on Facebook, and I'm like, why am I listening to this girl that I don't care anything about? I was just trying to be nice to her and make her feel welcome, and now she's telling me that I'm like her tias and that I have all this drama, and Garrett's always telling me about your drama. Bitch, I'm not having drama. It's not about drama. Like, when somebody takes your...
Imagine Ty saying, I'm not having drama. It's like, bitch, you never stop. Every week, it's rehashing old drama compiled with new drama. What are you talking about? You don't have drama.
Material, that's not drama, because that's what I was going through, was the trick situation. That's just not drama.
Again, and after you... I'm telling you, after you see his hour set, you know why he can't tell you what joke Trick stole. Because there's no jokes. Just ramblings of a gay madman.
That's the actual tools that you use for what it is you do. Garrett is a helicopter pilot. Garrett's not a helicopter pilot.
It is a soup kitchen
mechanic. So if somebody was stealing his tools and he was pissed off, and I know that the military, because, you know, he's in the military, pays for those tools or whatever, but like, say he had his own shit and somebody was stealing his shit, and then he was like, oh no, you're not going to be able to steal my shit because this is the shit I use to work. Then is that drama, or is that you protecting what it is, the tools that you use for your daily work? This is my daily work. I know for other people this may be a hobby or something they do on the side, but for me this is actually what I do. So I'm having to listen to the opinions of this person, which really, if it was somebody I was dating, I would have right away stopped them.
I know when I don't care about a person that I met years ago in a brief interaction that offended me, I always bring them up years later and just go on and on and on about it.
And been like, oh, this is where you're kind of out of your depth. And yeah, maybe we talk about that at home and that's the way we talk about it there, but this doesn't get brought out to this comic that's actually been doing this for 18 years, especially when I'm a newbie and this person has gone out of their way to help me out, including when we go on the road. There were times where, you know, I was having a little bit of situations with the bookers, which one booker I will always be friends with, that I said, and at no point does he choose to jump in and at least let that be known. Then there's also times where people have posted negative things about me, and this again is...
Oh, Garrett Hall didn't stick up for him online, so that's why he's done with Garrett Hall. He's like, no one wants to stick up for you, dude. Like, people are happy to be quiet and like not rock the boat and shit on you, but like no one's going to bat for you. You stole $1,200 from Ralph Tutela. Like... Ugh.
Where maybe some of the people were happy to share this with me just because it was what it was, and some people were looking out for my best interest, because some people were like, well, this person claims to be your friend, but here are these negative posts about you and here he is liking them. And I was just like that did bother me, because, you know, it's like, well, now you're liking negative stuff about me when we're actually supposed to be friends. Like, that doesn't seem like what friends do. So if I'm the kind of friend that goes to bat for you, make sure your jokes don't get taken by comics that are more established than you are, and also tries to make your girlfriend feel welcome in a what can feel like an unwelcoming situation when you're not a comedian, then I feel like if I'm that friend and you don't give a fuck about me and will even like negative post about me, then we're not really in an equal friendship, and I don't know why I would want to be friends with you. Does that make sense? Because to me, that in a lot of cases is where low self-esteem comes from, is when you let people treat you however they want to treat you, talk to you however they want to talk to you. Like, that's when you start like hurting yourself, because then you're doing for people that aren't doing for you, and you're treating people as if they're above you that maybe in some cases aren't even on your same level when it comes to what it is you're doing, and not even on your same level when it comes to being a friend.
Really, all of his problems go back to the fact that he's just not as good as he thinks he is. He got a little heat over a decade ago and nothing since, and he's just deluded himself into thinking that he's still got something, but it's like, it's garbage, man. It's really a lot of hot garbage.
A little bit. I mean, like, I have the friends that I have that I've been friends with forever now, and those people I know aren't going anywhere. And so
why the fuck you lying?
It's like,
why you always lying?
Relationships.
Oh my God.
Haven't been
Stop fucking lying.
Me aren't going to be an issue for me. That's not going to be a thing where it's like, oh, this person is, said this now. Well, why would I want to be around this person? This person doesn't like you and said this, and then your friend so-and-so decided to go like the post and still talks to them. And it's like, all right, well, cool. Then you continue to talk to them. That's one thing I told Ralph when it came to Adam Dominguez. Like, Adam Dominguez does drop my name a lot as far as in a negative way. And so it's like, okay, well, if I'm trying to help you get off the open mic scene, because really, as far as comedy goes, even just as far as like raw talent, when it comes to Ralph Tutela, he really shouldn't be on a show with me anyway, especially like a regular cast member on a show with me anyway. But the way I saw it was, if he was willing to work hard on
cast member,
the original idea was Kings of Las Vegas, which, I'm the one that came up with the name. And, if I'm going to allow Ralph to be one of the kings of Las Vegas, I get that as far as comedy goes, he's not really a king of Las Vegas. And so I'm going to have to help him build up and help him get his material together a little better. And when we went to El Paso, he did respectably well. He didn't kill it at any.
So Ty wanted you to fund his fantasy/workshop for Ralph. I'm going to help him get his material up. It's like, what the fuck? What is this? A pro show? A residency show? Or a sham? Like, fuck.
Particular point, it was just okay sets, and he didn't do his full time, and I like, that's where I fall short sometimes, is because I will, to encourage people, I'll let them think that they've done better than they've done. Like Ralph would ask me, or say that he did his full time, but I time every set, and the most that Ralph ever did was 26 minutes. I think one show he did closer to 27, like 26:49 or something like that. But I time every show just because I always do it that way, because then I know if I can go to the bathroom or whatever like that. But at no point was he able to do the full half hour. Garrett, every time we went on the road, was able to do his full half hour. That's what I'll tell you. Or whatever his set was. If it was 20, he did 20. If it was 30, he did 30. Garrett has always been able to do his full time, and that's just what it is. And Garrett is a decent comic. He's newer, and like I said, he doesn't have the most material or whatever. He's talked about getting rid of his material, which I think is a mistake at his point. I feel like he should really hone the material he has, and the
like,
material
why
that's
are we
not
going
working,
into this?
or that's not really the best. I was going to fuck up what he had going. But luckily, I did acid. That's when I did acid shortly after, and I decided not to, like, burn it all down the way I was going to burn it down for them. Because there was... Like, I don't think people understand. Like, you look at my body, you look at and I don't mean that in a like a vain way. I just mean like, look at the kinds of things that I do with my body if you follow me on Instagram. Do you know what kind of discipline it takes to do that? Look at the way that because when everything turned out with the situation with the Thunderbird, with me doing my shows, look at the way people showed up. That was all me doing that. Like, yeah, I'm very grateful to the friends that shared it and stuff like that, because what happened was I went through different points, because then Ralph dropped out like 9 days.
Because what happened was, see what happened was,
and like he made it so when he was talking to me, he said that it was because, you know, he thought my vision was different because I had changed the idea to Thai Rivera Cabaret, but that hadn't been fully decided yet. It was just something we were working on. I had a graphic made up for it, because it was something we were talking about, because it was better for marketing, and I'm good looking at everything in just a marketing point of view at that point, because I was like, okay, whatever we need to do to get people in these doors. Also, like, I like the idea of something other than just a traditional stand-up show, and so there were several reasons that we decided to do that, and I think that made Ralph even more insecure. So he told me that that was the reason. Well, little does he know, we know some of the same people, and then I ended up hearing that he had a conversation with somebody where he was saying that he was worried that he was...
Imagine being Ty's teacher from school that's responsible for his run-on sentence style of thought.
That's what happened, is those people got in his head, probably Adam Dominguez, Ian Rainier, those kinds of people got in his head and told him.
Those kinds of people. People are just out there keeping their heads down doing stuff.
So he doesn't want to lose these open mic opportunities, and I don't blame him in a way, because that's kind of his level, you know, and that's not being mean, it's just what it is. And so he's worried about losing those opportunities, but he didn't have to worry about that, because I really did do everything that I was supposed to do, and I had already done everything the way that I was supposed to do it. One thing that I didn't appreciate that he did was he set up the ticket link so that the money went to him, and so like that's why I had people hitting me up on Venmo instead of hitting me up through the ticket links, because if the money is not going through me, that could lead to a messy situation where I don't get money from him when I'm supposed to get it. And also, and I'm not saying he's shady, I'm just saying people are irresponsible like that sometimes. And then also,
Ralph Tutela paid $1,200 for the venue and everything. Didn't get the money back, quit the show, and didn't say a word bad about Ty. Ty then puts this out. Keeps the money, show flops, makes no money. We calculated optimistically. We doubled what we know he sold. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this sucks for Ralph. But he didn't say a word bad about Ty. He kept his mouth shut. And then Ty did all this. So.
I had a hard time getting the emails from him anyway, and it was just email addresses that I needed from the people that had bought the streaming, and he treated like it was kind of a taking him time sort of way. Then there was one point where I asked him if the links were live already. Then it took from like the night that I asked him till 6 p.m. the next day. And it's like, that's very important when I need to know stuff like that. So, you know, there were also times, because he likes drinking and partying, which again, I'm not judging, but it just does.
Moody with the home run. Imagine being in your 40s and making this video public.
I need to talk to you or text you about like a particular thing going on, and you can't get back to me till much later. He said he didn't want to work the buses anymore, you know, because he works the bus tours, which I respect that. And I even told him at a point, I was like, I understand if you have to work the bus tours because you have stuff going, you know, or it makes you money. And he was like, I'm looking for ways to get fired from there. I don't want to be there anymore. And then he tells me that he's booked a bunch of them, and so he's not able to do the stuff that we're supposed to do. So eventually he hits me up one day, 9 days before, and he says like that he's just going to drop it all together. And so it's like, okay, cool. Well, you know, that's a great decision to make after you're the one that talked me into taking this deal. There was more money than I wanted to take in the first place. And he did kick in money for the beginning part, you know, for the first couple of weeks, which is what we both kicked in. We both kicked in the same amount. And the only reason I don't give actual numbers is just because, you know, that was between us and Chanclas and a deal that they worked out with us.
Ty put up
You know,
nothing.
I don't feel comfortable and feel like that's a smart thing for either of us to do professionally, but I don't have anything to do with what anybody else does, and I don't think they would particularly care what you know, anybody else would say. They care what I say. And so, like, you know, for me, it was like, yeah, you did that part, But as far as you leaving me on the hook for the other part, thankfully they were cool about it, forgiving about it. But they really could have been like, no, we actually want you to do this part anyway. Because
Kyle says it's almost like when you're toxic and burn bridges, it's hard to build a good show when people genuinely know you're shady as fuck. There might be a reason you're running a bar show in your 18 glorious years in the comedy. Why wasn't the residency at a club?
Open micers and open mics are more important than what he actually said. And it was very telling because there was one night that I went to talk to him about it in person. It was when he said he was going to drop out, which was like the Tuesday before, and so he said he was going to drop out, and I went to talk to him about it, and then I walked away for just a second, because somebody was saying something, and there was like not a lull in the conversation, but we were like talking, and like when you're talking in public and you're around comedians, different people will talk about different things, and as soon as I went to go talk to somebody else, he went to go have dabs with somebody, and it's like, well, you're going to go like smoke weed instead of talk about how we're gonna, and then he also said that he would still do the street team thing to help me out for that 1 week. He didn't do the street team thing, so like I had to handle everything myself, as far as getting people there. I had already raised the money, and then we had I had to deal with the video guy, which he was great. His name's Jeremy Jones, and I posted about him today, but he was really helpful and came up with a lot of solutions to situations that I would have never known. There were different people that were supposed to help me that didn't do the things that they were supposed to do, and all of that.
Jesus Christ. You didn't have a host 2 hours out. We saw the post for the host. We saw it. This had no plan at all.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
That I just had to keep rolling through like every single thing that happened, and I would post about it on Facebook, or I'd post about
Bobby
it on
makes a
social
good
media,
point.
and maybe that
His
was
residency was at the Thunderbird. There's
really
more
I was
people
breaking down
on
at all.
heroin in the
I
parking
was
lot
like,
than the audience
you know
and
what I mean?
seats.
And like
He got there and he was like, sorry, I'm late. I had to park really far. You guys took all the parking. 20 people in the show.
have that quick break.
You wanted 100 every night? Get out of your
Gotta
mom's.
figure this out. So move on to the next situation. Figure out the next incarnation of this. Figure out how you're gonna make this work. Then I get on the phone with like Steven or D, or sometimes just go for a walk with Bijou, or go to the gym like to straighten out my head, and then I do what I had to do to make the next step happen. And it was just me really being able to roll with the punches. So then on we weren't able to figure out the streaming part because the Wi-Fi couldn't support it, and we could have gotten boosters, and we also could have got an independent hotspot because of the time constraints and the time that we figured that out and the stuff that I had to do leading up, it just wasn't going to be possible.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
So I sent everybody a message and saying that I would give them a performance from the night, and some of the people I'll give them a performance from each night. And so like that, I ended up getting smoothed over, and everybody was really cool and really understanding about that, because at the end of the day,
The person who bought it from him, didn't even get asked if they didn't get told there was no streaming, didn't get asked if they wanted a video or their money back, none of that stuff. So he's full of shit. Now, as the compromise with everyone, which one was it? Was this hugely successful and you sold a lot of tickets and made good money, and yet you contacted everyone individually? Or were you able to contact everybody individually because there were 20 tickets sold? And by the way, you didn't contact everybody. These are lies, provable lies. Because I bought the stream. Had somebody buy the stream.
hey, did I really cheat you out of anything? Because I'm still giving you a performance from that weekend, and it's even better in my opinion because you don't have to be there at a particular time for a live stream. Now you can watch it at your convenience, and I'll give you like 7 days. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'll give you a week to watch it, and I'm gonna give you like the one that I'm uploading really is to me the best example of it, because I said that I would give you a live show, and this one has so many problems as far as what's happening in the audience and stuff like that, but I really do like the set, and people people kept telling me how much they liked the set. Like the comics that were there, like everybody was saying what a great set it was, because I just kept having to, again, roll with it. And that's like what I do. You know what I mean? I really am. That's why I say, like, people, I'm not going to worry about people talking about me or anything like that, because like when it comes down to it, I produce and I roll with anything that happens. And when I say produce, I don't mean like I'm a producer. I think I'm a producer because I did this one show. I also did produce Laughed Out, and I also have produced a lot of stuff. But as far as producing, I mean just produce. I mean, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it, and I do it well. So I'm not going to worry about who's talking about me or what they're saying about me or if they're saying anything bad.
Good point. Ty can't take the L ever. He's never wrong. This is exhausting. Someone should gift him a gift of a subscription for punctuation.
And see what it is I'm doing, and I will show them something good. So I welcome anybody to say anything they want to say. And if anybody thinks that what I said on this was drama, like I always say, my number never changes. So people can get a hold of me. I told Garrett I'd rather not talk to him, but if he has feelings,
somebody give me Ty's number. Let's give him a call.
Feel free to call me. My number doesn't change, and it's not like I'm not going to answer. If I'm at the gym, I'm not going to answer, but I'll call you back. If anybody wants to leave me a message, leave me a message. I'll get back to you. I'm not worried about anybody. But the thing is, I'm making it very clear that I'm not going to change what it is I'm doing. And if you don't have my back, I'm fine with that. But I am always going to have my back. So
why would I have your back? I thought you were a top.
And I noticed that you don't. Then you're going to get cut out of my life, and that's all that it's going to be. And as far as Ralph Tutela goes, I'm not mad at him, but this is just the honest way that it went down. And that's what I'm saying, is that it was a very shitty way of doing things. Like, I could even understand if he was like, I'm going to do this one with you, because I would have shown him, like, I already showed everybody what it is I said I was going to show him, or what it was I said I was going to do.
This is great. Like, imagine being arrogant about your residency, being on the part of the strip that doesn't have street lights.
I didn't have time to fully break down about everything. The cocktail waitress that I had, she ended up dropping out on me, which I still love her. I'm not mad at her or anything like that, but I wish she had given me a little bit more notice, or told me that she was feeling sick the day before or something, but I didn't.
Ralph gave you more notice. You're still mad at him?
And she's like, I'm still feeling sick. And I felt like, still feeling sick? I didn't know you were feeling sick to begin with. And so that threw me off, and it was last minute. It was the day of. It was 9 a.m. that day, and I was panicking, but instead the people from Chanclas were like, well, we don't mind having one of our bartenders like go to the other
somebody side. Who has his number, please text him. Tell him to call our show number.
So then we had to go there. We had to set up all the stuff. Jeremy set up like the trellises for the lights, because we had to do a whole thing with this situation, which he's
telling people like how shows work. We had to put up things for the lights to hold the lights, because the lights need a thing to hold them. I had no idea. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And
we had to do tables. We had to get folding tables and a ladder to get the trellis onto the lights. It's like, what else? A hammer or screwdriver? Did you need
handle the door, which I really
the lights took bulbs.
And then
so about door handles,
like doing his thing and helping with the technical side and getting his stuff set up and helping with my stuff too. And that gives me just enough time to get my hair done, come back to my place and do my hair and make sure my makeup's done and everything like that.
Earl does that joke 3 times a night, everybody.
I'm doing everything that I have to do at that point, and I'm stressing, and I'm knowing that nobody is going to show up. And so I go back.
And I was wrong. Next to nobody was there.
And my first show is packed. Like, there's people in all the seats that we put out. Technically, we needed a little bit more room, but it wasn't by a lot. I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, it was just jammed in there. But no, for what we planned for, it turned out to be. So I was spot on with that.
Yeah, you planned for 10.
A little bit lighter, but you expect that for the late show. It was light. And at first it was light, and then it filled in a bit more, and we were like, okay, this is good. Then the Saturday show, again, early show, really, really great. Later show, not as many people again, but like I said, you expect that on the later show. But it was just great turnouts, especially for it just being one person. Like I said, I'm not taking away from any of the people that helped me, because on the production side, the behind the scenes side, yes, I did have a lot of help as far as that goes. But as far as promoting it and making sure that everybody is in place, and
I sold all 24 tickets.
And the way that it was supposed to be, that was one person doing that shit. And God damn it, I'm proud of myself. Too bad my cigarettes just fell everywhere.
It was awful.
But I brought a carton. But that was one person making that shit happen. So you think I'm not proud? You think I'm not going to have my back? You think I'm liking any of you better than I like myself right now? No, that's not what it is. So enjoy your guys this week, and whatever you do, stay unbothered.
All right. So there it is. The latest Unbothered. Now, Ralph Tutela bites back. Let's get into it, and then we can get the fuck out of here. Ralph Tutela has a pretty succinct rebuttal, and he's getting high as fuck while he tells it, and still in half the time of Thai Rivera and better. Here we go. I like this guy.
What's happening? The quality. I don't like it. It's the lighting. It's the lighting. Don't worry, you're not on the video. I got a friend here with me. Brad Goulby. You guys might have heard of him.
Oh, Brad's there.
Talked about by some other people we know. So, let's do this. And I can see the comments over there too. I'll respond to them as they come. And I have friends back in New Hampshire who've wondered why I didn't talk about me not doing my show on Las Vegas Boulevard. Why one moment I was all about it, and then I just didn't bring it up at all. Here's why. So somebody posted a post about me tonight. I don't even know if I want to say his name. He said my name a lot. Should I say his name? I'll say his name. His name's Thai Rivera. And he said my name a lot tonight. And he was off base on a lot of what he said. And I truly believe he believes what he's saying. So I'm not going to call him a liar. But I think his view of our relationship and what went down is definitely off. Did he mention how much marijuana I smoke? He did, right? Okay. He said I take off to smoke pot all the time. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I take off to smoke pot all the time. So, here's how it began. It really began in, right here, when I decided to do a road trip, and I didn't know where I was going. And I just took off, because I was doing the bus, and I was like, hey, I don't want to work here anymore. I want to go be a full-time comic, so I'm just going to go take off and start trying to fucking be a comic. And I took off one weekend, and Ty was opening up for Steve Trevino in Pleasanton, California, and we had touched base a little. And he said, well, if you come up here, I'll do the introduction. So, all right, and he did the introduction, and I took it from there. And I got 2 spots with Steve Trevino, unpaid, in case that comes back to haunt me. They were unpaid. But they were awesome, and I loved working with Steve. And so that's where me and Ty's relationship probably kind of got to another level. Further down the road, we were talking about, he had brought a few people on the road that didn't pan out. And he had told me that. And then I started talking to people who were on the road with Ty and didn't pan out, and I found out a lot of it was because of Ty. How Ty is on the road. But it's probably a mixture of both. I guess it doesn't really matter. So it got to the point where he was like, do you want to go on the road with me and go down El Paso and open up at the comic strip? And I said, sure. Now, I told Ty
got to the
I
point
had never done, because I'm going to address
after
this.
sex.
We've addressed the marijuana. He wasn't off base on that. If he does talk about that, about how much pot I smoke, I mean, I'm like Cheech and Chong level type fucking weed smoker, so we go to El Paso, and like I said, I told Ty, and I tell you guys this all the time because I posted it online. I'd never done 30 minutes before. So one of the things that Ty had said in the YouTube thing, so I look at it as a nice constructive criticism.
Ty's word is worth so much. If I stick up for you, it's because I think you're a great comic and you got the chops. And then I had never done 30 before. Ty's like, do you have a car? You're it.
So thank you. He said that I only did 26 minutes. I'll let you know right now, I've been doing comedy for 4 years in July. It's not even July yet, so it'll be 4 years in July. The fact that you told me, maybe I didn't, he goes, didn't kill it, did respectably well. Whatever, man. You tell me I'm doing respectably well in comedy clubs at a little under 4 years in for fucking 26 minutes, you say? Although, no.
I bet I haven't seen
I could be
Ralph,
wrong.
but I
Maybe
bet
I'm
he's
wrong.
funnier
Maybe they
than
were
Ty.
all fucking 26, 27 minutes. But since then, I've done over 30 minutes, so I appreciate that opportunity to get up there and do those 20-something minutes. And maybe it was only respectably well in your humble opinion. No, that's not a humble opinion. That's a fucking egotistical opinion. But so the fact that I did respectably well for 26 minutes, thank you. That's fucking pretty good, man. And I actually think I've gotten even better since then because you know why? I keep going to open mics. Now, let's address this one. I got my balls cut off. Is that what it was said? My balls were cut off, put in my pocket, and then I was sent on my way. Anybody ever seen that happen to me? Put it in the comments right here. Anybody seen my balls cut off, put in my pocket, and sent on my way? Put in the comments right there. Describe that night. And I know there's a couple. Bartholomew's, don't you fucking put anything up there. Because I think both of you have seen that. But, Ty, you ain't never seen that, and it never happened. And nobody had an open mic here in town and seen me with my balls cut off and sent fucking
He
packs.
strikes me as the kind of guy who calls
what he's
people
referring to-
Jack. I'll tell you another thing, Jack.
If I may.
Allow me to return.
Not to gloat. I think that's what he said. I think he said I went down there to fucking gloat. I went down there because I go to open mics. Because I work hard at this. Because at a little under 4 years in, I'm doing respectably well in comedy clubs for 26 minutes.
Hey now.
So, I went down there and I was like, it wasn't to gloat, but I post everything I'm doing. So a lot of people were like, hey, congratulations. And really, a lot of people don't like Ty. And a lot of people talk to me. And I talk to a lot of people. And so I found this out quickly. But I already fucking knew this. But it was a little more aggressive than I was hoping for. I was hoping to get like a little mutual... do your own
Welcome,
thing,
Jay.
congratulations. And I got that from a lot of people, but some people don't like Ty enough that they felt that they wanted to get vocal and they didn't give a fuck. I don't blame them because I'm doing the same thing right now.
Am I right, Jack?
So a lot of people are like, why would you do something with him? No, they weren't like, hey man, you're not a good enough comic. Nobody told me that, Ty, except for you. Everybody was like, you're such a hard worker. You're gonna fucking make.
And where were you when the child went missing?
This motherfucker. And I was like, yeah, man, because I don't give a shit because Ty's funny. And Ty is funny. I stand by that. You know what?
You're wrong.
Ty do more than 26 minutes. And I've seen him do very well. Now, I've seen him kill. And I own that.
That's
Fuck
just
yeah,
what
man.
I
Give me
said.
how long have you been doing it? 20 years? 18 years? Fuck yeah, man.
That's just what I said. I think people confuse it. They really confuse it. I've seen him crush, so he must be funny. It's like, ugh, no. No. We're great. Society graves on a drastic curve for the brown gays. So you need to factor that in. Guilt laughs.
Man, watch me 18 years from now. See if I'm not doing fucking whatever. I'll probably be dead, though. 18 years from now. That's going to be the truth.
Hey, now.
Anyways, that's nothing, Ty. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit, man. None of it matters. So, I don't waste time at open mics. I don't waste time when I go out of town and I go and fucking headline in a bar. You know why? Because I love Utah. I like Snot Boy, right? Marcus is cool. I like life, man. I like adventures. And that doesn't mean I'm not serious about not being serious, because I am. Because my whole life for the last fucking however many years been on a microphone. So, piss off, man. And for the last, 4 years?
Very angry,
and
Ralph.
5 years, actually, because of Carnival. You can make fun of that, too. I don't give a shit. So I'm at the open
Carnival?
mics, and I'm getting all this feedback, and I'm drinking. And I was getting kind of out of control. And Ty called me. And I asked Ty, and that's what I said afterwards. I said, why? I said, why'd you call me during, while I'm drinking like that down at the bar? And he was like, you told me I could call you anytime. And that's just true, and we'll get back to that, the work ethic thing. And but he happened to call me when I was being surrounded by a bunch of people who didn't like him, and we're all talking about him, and I couldn't have a fucking words on that. Now,
That's
after
what
that
goes
night,
on
I
out
let
at
it
the
go.
clubs,
I never
Ty.
fucking brought it up again. He kept bringing it up every couple of days. He's like, and I really don't care who doesn't like me. I said, why you keep bringing it up then? I ain't fucking brought it back up, dude. I brought it up that time, man. I don't give a fuck. Let's move on. Let's move on. He had a hard time with that. He thought I was married to the open mics. He thought I was married to the opinions of the open micers. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, when I met Ralph, he had just started working for Ty. And I was like, hey, man, I know you're working for Ty. But, don't take that out on me. That I think Ty's a joke. You do you. I hope we're good. And he's like, oh, no, it's hilarious. Let's take a photo together and send it to him. It'll be hilarious. And I was like, oh, my God. No. I said, no, that's not. Because that's not honestly what I'm trying to do is torture Ty. I find it, I don't want to do anything to him. I just want to watch him keep going. Like next week, I wonder if, because this was so successful, if he'll be like, I'm setting up a national tour in 38 cities. Like, I want to see him do that shit. It'd be hilarious. Oh, Tutela. Ralph Nutella.
As far as the things about what we were doing, yeah, I had the Utah gig that got kind of shit on. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited to go see that guy that who booked me for it, and it's in a bar, and it's going to be a good fucking time, and it's part of my comedy journey. And I had already made the commitment, so it was important to me to not just be like, hey, you like whatever. So like this is the first time he had no problem with me just telling some bar to go fuck off because our show is so important here. It's like I already have some commitments. When we had made the decision, these were not commitments that I made after we decided to do the show. These were commitments I said I already had in place before we did the show. And I said, why don't we do the show after? Why don't we start after I do these commitments? And he's like, because I really want to do something right now. And I said, I kind of do too. So all right, fuck it, let's do it. But that's only going to give us a couple weeks to get ready. So this whole, I left him 9 days before the show started. That's because fucking we'd only decided to do the show about fucking 7 days before that. And I only did like a little bit of time before I decided I didn't want to do the fucking show anymore. I decided I didn't want to do the show no more. Let me repeat. I decided I didn't want to do the show no more. It wasn't because I could only do 26 minutes. It wasn't because I don't have a good fucking work ethic. It wasn't because anything except for I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't talk about any of this because I wasn't going to. And because I respect Ty. I think Ty's a fucking great comic. Anybody watches.
He's not.
Recognize that.
No, you're too young in comedy to know
and there are
better.
other people who say no. I think Ty is very funny. But Ty, I do find a lot of people who don't find you funny. I know you don't care. So you're probably not even going to watch this video because you don't care that much. I did unfriend you. Because no friend of mine talks about me the way you did in your fucking video. That's what that is. And you know what? The reason I'm doing this one here is because this has happened to a bunch of people I hang out with from the same guy.
Ooh.
And I haven't seen a clear-cut response to his BS. So I thought that I'd lay some. Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Right, for a little while now, it seems to be like nobody seems to know how to argue with this guy. And I don't watch Patrick Melton stuff. And not because I just like Patrick. I'm still really not into YouTube. I got to get my own YouTube shit going and stuff. I know we're getting off track here.
Yeah,
where was it?
Huh? Wear the hat for a second.
Wait, is this Adam's hat?
No, just put it on for just a second.
Is this gonna
Oh no, he's putting on an NLO hat.
It better not be racist, Brad Goldie. I don't want to wear a red.
That's hilarious.
Well, that was the other thing. And then when I went down,
you put my hat on.
and I'll say the names. Ian Rainier. Well, yeah, actually, Ian Rainier don't like Ty. Ty don't like Ian. And I wanted to let them both because I have fucking hung out with both of them. And Ian has been a big part of my comedy since I've gotten here, right? And fucking. And so, yeah, and he's given me a lot of stage time to practice a lot of stuff and get to a respectably well 26 minutes in just under 4 years.
That was Brad Goulby handing him a hat and an NLO hat.
I don't give a fuck, man. I work with whoever I want.
You can't buy that hat either. He has the only other one that I have, I
That's
think.
meant something to me for a long time. For a long time, being Ralph Tutela's meant something. Still does. I don't give a fuck what it means to you. Tell you that right now. Is that my troublemaker? Fucking Doughboy's here, man. I know he's gonna say shit. I don't agree with whatever fucking Doughboy says. I'm gonna say that right now. Hazel.
It's upsetting Brad.
Hazel.
That's upsetting Brad. That woke her up. I'm gonna have to take her out, man. I don't want her pissing all over the place like a bad dog parent.
What was I saying on that? What was I saying about that, Brad? Sit down, Doughboy. Be careful. We're not doing hateful stuff here, all right?
Details about what happened.
Okay. Yeah, but where were we?
Yeah, let's have a dog date for real. My dog needs socialization. You name the time, man. I'm really down for that. My dog needs friends.
I didn't say it was
Feeling like a Bijou right now. I'd like Bijou to come over and play with my dog, actually.
because the other guy don't want to be in the video.
Well, yeah.
Do it now. They're gonna, huh?
I don't want that. That's white
We
people
got
shit.
one going. So, yeah. So
Who's Doughboy? Is Doughboy cool?
Now I'm off. You see that would happen? The dog bark, everything.
Why can't black people just use their name?
So,
You're not a
so
rapper.
With the two guys, and I'm trying to tell them, hey, I can work with anybody. It don't fucking matter. I don't care.
What up, I'm Crystal.
And
Just my friend Murder.
When he's like, I don't care, but I think he still has feelings for her because of how bad Ty shit on him.
Chris, Murder.
So anybody who fucking hung out with Ty was kind of like, you know, he was like, what the fuck? That guy like hates me. Well, Ty did the same thing because you know, that night when he called me drunk in the bar and we were talking, and fucking Adam Dominguez. He was talking about Adam, and then when I was with Ty, talking with Ty afterwards, he goes, well, I don't really think I want to be in business with somebody who's going to hang out with somebody who's trying to take me down. And he was talking about Adam Dominguez. And I was like,
Adam Dominguez trying to take him down.
What are you talking about? First of all, me and Adam see each other in bars, you know, when we're at open mics, when we run into each other. It's not like we're trying to plan fucking shit or anything like that. And, you know, it's like, are you serious, dude? How old are you? And, like, because I don't have conversations like that with people. I've never in my fucking life said, I want to hang out with you because you're hanging out with so-and-so. That's not who I am. And I don't fucking hang out with people who are like that. Can I say that without being contradictory? I think so, because it's my own.
I asked Ralph to come on the show. He said, yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. But, all right, so then that was that bar night. And he'll probably have a different story on that. And he might be.
Whoopi wants to come on too, I think.
So things are a little hazy. I got to allow for that. I don't always make the rational decisions. So then as it gets closer, and I went to Boston, but that time he talks about when I was out of town, he was in another state too. We were both working from the computer. And the time that I wasn't doing anything, I set up all the links, which I had a little trouble doing for a minute. And I was off visiting family and friends, and I posted that online and told Ty I was going to be doing that fucking right when we first had the conversation about the show. But I still managed to get all the links up so people could buy the tickets to the show, whether it be online or fucking whether it be in person. And all those links were set up. And at that point, he introduced Ron Heron, who's like an arch enemy of mine. I don't want to say arch enemy. I don't give a fuck about that guy anymore. But that was that guy I left the tour over because he was a fucking prick. And Ron puts his Facebook post up about the show with absolutely no mention of me. Now, let me tell you something. Pretty sure I'm the only one who was financially invested into this shit at this point anyways. Anyone who actually went into pocket. Pretty sure it was just me. I won't even get into that. So this guy comes out with this post. He's got no fucking mention of me. And then when we started getting closer, I could already tell Ty was kind of a control freak and didn't really, like, he would ask for input and shit, but it was going to be fucking Ty's way. And then I really started thinking, how much time and energy and money do I want to invest into promoting Thai Rivera, a guy who seems to have had a hard time doing it in his whole life anyways, because I see him pretty much everywhere I go. So that means either I'm in the right place.
Don't you dare.
He's in the wrong ones. Fucking either way. So, just like whatever has been that never was. Right? Go fucking whatever, man.
Tell you what, Jack.
Guys, let more people watch this video than his. Right? Let's prove a fucking point, right?
There was 19 people watching.
I'm not trying to be a dick here, man. Would you fucking come at me? And here's the thing, yeah, I know who I am. And my work ethic's solid, dude. My thing was, when we got Clyde, I already told him he was going to handle all this other shit, which I was like, all right, because then Stephen Roberts got involved. Then I saw the flyer of the Thai Rivera Cabaret without my name on it anywhere. And I was like, this show ain't for fucking me, man. This ain't for me.
Went from the Kings of Comedy to Thai Rivera Cabaret.
And I told, I think it was over a week and a half. And I was like, dude,
by the way,
going to be that final week when we're going to attack the Strip. And I had
the receipts I have. Some people paid for tickets to the Thai Rivera Cabaret. So it's so cringe.
I'm not even going to share all the work I was doing to get that set up. And it was getting set up. And I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? I'm going to use that stuff to do my show when I go to promote me. All right? And that's going to be much more. Doe, what's up, Doe?
I'm just saying, I just look cool as fuck back here. You know what I'm saying? Look, they gonna be scared because you got a brother in the background.
You let Doughboy know where you live. Now the Crips going to invade you.
The who?
The Crips, and he said they're gonna paint your house blue.
Right, they're gonna paint the house blue.
And Brad Golby, let me tell you about Brad Golby.
You know what you don't go home before you do that. You need to talk. You know, I believe white folks should have nicknames too. Fuck you say that nigga's whole government name. That's not like Lil B or something. RT, that's BG over there, nigga. This BG. You gotta work on your name. That's not being so white, man. Like this RT right here, motherfucker.
This guy's using language that I find both
Ragdoll
triggering and racially problematic.
Oh, wait. What said it earlier? What are you talking about?
Man, we gotta work on this shit.
No, because that was the thing. We said we're naming names, man. Garrett Hall. Oh, this is one thing about Garrett. When Ty was talking about how I only have 26 minutes, and he's seen Garrett go on the road and do 30 minutes like a bunch, huh?
Do you have alcohol?
There might be a beer in the fridge. There might be. I think I got Kahlua. I don't have any milk.
You got a PBR?
I don't know PBR. I think it's like no wonder I'm Kahlua. I'm not drinking. What was I saying? So, and so when he talked about how Garrett did well like that, he did that because he knows. I look at Garrett as I like me and Garrett came in at the same time.
3 guys that look nothing alike hang out together, talking about what to drink. Feels like a Sunny D commercial.
I have nothing bad to say.
Yeah, and so I watch him and I get competitive with Garrett because, like, I did see Garrett getting opportunities to go do 30 minutes and stuff, and I wanted more of those.
Soda, purple stuff.
So whatever, man.
Sunny D.
Garrett, like I said, he came in the same time as me, and I've seen him do very well in crowds, and whatever. That didn't bother me, but I know Ty thought it was gonna bother me. You know, when he was like, oh, I seen Garrett do well a bunch of times. Fuck, man, Garrett's got a lot of chances to do it, too, to do 30 minutes. Got a lot more chances to do that, dude. Keep giving me those chances to do 30 minutes. See what happens.
I'm bothered because...
You bothered? You bothered, Joe?
Getting 30 minutes, and they look over me like I'm not good and shit. Like,
Dude, first of all, nobody looks over you.
I'm
How
a king
can
of Las
anybody...
Vegas.
Oh, the King of Las Vegas. That name. Now I got people fucking with me about the King of Las Vegas name. And the reason for that name was Ty said, let's call it the Kings of Las Vegas to piss them off. That was his intention. He did it to go fucking piss you guys off. Now, in my heart, and then he comes back and says, Ralph wouldn't be a king of Las Vegas. I'll be more of a king than you would, motherfucker. I love this city, dude. I love Las Vegas. I was talking about running for mayor, and I might even fucking do that still someday. Well, no, I'm not going to. But kiss my ass, dude. I could be a king of Las Vegas more than you could. Right? Get the fuck out.
You're not a good man.
I like
they're
that.
Gonna be gone. Carolyn's done after this term.
Yeah,
That's her
son,
third
they
term.
got a son.
No, didn't one of them kill himself?
But it's still
Or
another.
died? Didn't one die or something?
I think it's another one though.
Anyways, we digress. So,
I don't know.
be a king of my own house, man. King of my fucking.
What about the budgets for the venues and shit?
They're talking about the breaking.
You fucking fire starter Brad over there, like.
I'm the only one who I think went in.
What about the budgets? Fucking
and here
producer.
was the main reason. Finally, I decided to get out. I sat there and I thought about it for a minute, and I said, first of all, I don't want to work with this guy. He's hard to work with. He's very volatile. He fucking argues with everybody everywhere, and fucking a lot of people don't like him, and it's just a fucking hard situation. And then, as far as the show went, I knew the only way to make that show work was going to be take what I learned from another guy, and I won't say his name because he don't want fucking shit to do with this fucking podcast or this show. Another guy. All right, well, Don, what I learned from Don downtown about marketing and filling seats up and shit like that. And that's why I love working with Don down there and just seeing what's going on and how to really put a show together, which I see him do on a regular basis. And I knew money was going to have to be involved to make money. And I sat there and I looked at this situation and I said, I'm not putting any more fucking money into this. I'm not chasing.
I can't believe you put in $1,200. That's fucking insane.
So I just decided, fucking, this is it for me. And when I saw that flyer that said the Thai Rivera Cabaret, my name nowhere on it, I said, that sounds a good fucking time for me to get out. So that was it, man. Boom, done.
Put $40 in it, motherfucker.
$40. You want to know how much I put in it?
No.
I put $1,200 into it. I lost $1,200.
Don't tell nobody.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's like 3 days on that bus that he thinks I shouldn't go on. And then I fucking came back and I had to hop back on the bus to put money back into my fucking pocket because I am serious about being serious. So go ahead and question my work ethic. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning.
I guess he does the Hoover Dam tours. A lot of these comics are doing these Hoover Dam tours now for money.
For that shit, fuck you. All right, I'm up every day hustling. Come out here and talk about me. You've been hustling 18 years. What are you doing? You're trying to do a show with Ralph Tutela on Las Vegas Boulevard. Thank you. Fucking, what the
I
fuck?
love that. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to do a show with Ralph Tutela on Las Vegas Boulevard. He's like, exactly. Exactly. That's what I was saying.
18 years. See, I understand how people do comedy for 18 years and still be doing open mics, man. You're supposed to be a world traveler. Like, you're not supposed to be in open mics with us.
How you been doing comedy 18 years? Are you still doing open mics? You're supposed to be a world traveler. Well, I've been doing comedy 18 years. I'm world travel. I'm gonna tell you what. I talked to bookers in Australia. They laughed about Ty. They were like, he starts trouble everywhere he goes. Never again. Never again.
And like, and fucking, that's what I was gonna do.
We have our own gays. Thank you very much. Thank you.
18 years, if you still doing what you started doing at the beginning, you should quit. You should go into like burlesque or some shit.
He's been on Comedy Central.
That don't mean shit. I'm tired of you saying that shit, man. A lot of motherfuckers been a lot of places. Motherfuckers ain't doing shit right now, but open mics with us.
I will say this. Anyone I talked to, when they asked me who I was doing the show with, unless it was a local comic in Las Vegas, they had no idea who Thai Rivera was. There was not a single person that I said I was doing a show with who was like, "Oh, you're doing a show with Thai Rivera?" I was always like, "Hey, I'm doing a show with Ty," and they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever. What's up with you, Ralph? Man, you doing a show? Nobody gave a fuck about you, dude. Nobody, man. Nobody. No, it would have been the same thing, Doughboy. It would have been the same thing because we're all on our own personal journey. Yeah, does he? I don't know if he has a bigger following. I don't know. I don't see his YouTube video getting that many fucking views and shit, man. Like it's not like, and I'm not saying I do, but I'm like, he talks like he does, man. Like I don't understand that shit.
We should be Ryan's friend.
We should be who?
Ryan's friend. He got.
Don't talk. Ryan's going to open up for him like Havasu. I used to have that game. I used to be good enough to go open up for Tyler.
Okay. So this is the other thing. I forgot about this. There's this other guy, Ryan Barassa. Now, I don't know. I remember seeing him a while ago. I thought he was pretty funny. And then a lot of comics told me, like, oh, he's mentally ill. And then I started seeing, like, every 6 months on Facebook, he's, like, asking for a place to live. And he's just got that kind of, like, he's, like, a wafy ginger. You know, looks like would blow him away. But he used to have crazy hair. And then I saw him at an open mic, like, at Taco Dive Bar, like, a month and a half ago. And I didn't recognize him. I had been there like 30 minutes, and I turned, and I was like, oh, Ryan, what's up? And he's like, hey. Now, he's friends with Ty, so he hates me. He's also like a super SJW. Like, it's so cringe, man. Wait till I tell you what happened. So, he was doing some video game thing, and I was doing a video game show called Comedians, Gaming Under the Influence with comics at comedy festivals in Australia and Scotland. And I reached out to him. He was doing some sort of like streaming thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like looking to do the same thing. Maybe we could work together. And he never really answered. And so I saw him in person that night, like a month and a half ago. I was like, hey man, like I messaged you a while ago, like. He's like, I'm like, oh, I didn't recognize you because your hair and stuff. He's like, And I was like, okay. And I moved, and I think that's, and then I started talking to Ralph. Well, today, some comic tweeted something about me. I didn't see it, but I got sent it, of course, because people send me everything. And by the way, keep doing it. I don't hate that. Just keep sending me everything. I love that stuff. But listen to this. What he said. So, Ryan Brasser replied to a tweet about me that I'm a dickhead. First of all, great. If you're a comic and you're writing, you're a dickhead. It's like cool stuff. Keep that one. Put a pin in that one. Save it from the stage. I don't even have this saved. I have to find the guy who sent it. Hold on. Okay. This is what Ryan Brasser said. This is 100%. Okay, here we go. Ryan Brasser said, Patrick Melton was talking my ear off one night, red in the face, drunk, going on and on about drama. I told him I had zero interest in what he was saying. Ralph comes over and says, you might have drama, but you're getting views. And we all laughed because he was right. Okay, so that never happened, all right? I don't think I brought drama up to him at all, and if I did, it wasn't, I might have known, like, he was friends with Ty, and it said the same thing I said to Ralph, like, hey, you know, I, like, fuck with Ty. I hope that's, you know, I'm like, I'm not trying to start shit with you. Like, that would have been it. He's acting, and then, he was red in the face drunk. I think I had 2 drinks. By the way, this is the same night that hours later we were all standing out in a circle out in the parking lot, and I almost got lunged at with a knife by a madman. So first of all, I drove home, had 2 drinks and drove home. Ask a million comics that were there that I talked to. Okay. Ask Alex Ansel, ask Adam Dominguez, ask Ian Rainier, who was running the show, ask Alex, just Alex, ask both the girls from the Keeping It Casual podcast were there. Matt Markman was there. Brad Goulby was there. Chris Waldeck was there. All of them will tell you I wasn't drunk. You're out of your mind. Look, I had some drinks. Nobody was red in the face. This is 30 minutes after me being there, too. These people are fucking mentally ill. They want to so desperately be part of the conversation that they just lie. And it's like, here's why here's why Ryan Brassa has a stick up his ass about me. A few weeks after that, he posted something in, by the way, it was nothing but nice to him, but I guess he hates me. He posted something on Facebook. This is 100% right. Let's find it. I'll just find it. I'm on my other account. They don't know how to block people, right? So I got blocked. Let's find out why. I'll show you. He's one of these people that posts so much that I doubt I'm going to be able to find the post. You know what I mean? Because it's just constant. Here, let's get you on his page. He does a lot of video game streaming. It's awful. Download a call recorder for your phone. It's a simple way to record your podcast, but you can record scam calls and make content from them. It's like, thanks for the tip. I got to show you what he wrote. You're going to cringe hard. So, by the way, he's replaced Ralph. Brian Brass is the new Ralph. So he's traveling with Ty. Imagine if Ty looked anything like any of his photos. What is going on? Yeah, this is going to be so far back. It's got to be a month or two. This guy's so ill. Don't say the N-word unless you're black. If you have to fuck this, there are only 2 rules in comedy. Don't say the N-word unless you're black. You have to fuck the stool when you're on stage. He's really virtue signally cringe. Wait till you see. Wait till you see. It's so, I can't even remember it. It's so cringe. Just endless clips of video game. I wonder why you're homeless every few months. Sorry, mental illness is not a joke. It's a serious condition that affects millions of Ryans every minute. Fuck, let me find this. God, have you ever seen so much shit? I did a bunch of shows with the Charizard. We're still in June. He does a lot of reflective selfies and it's just like a lot of what is going on. Just basic bitch kind of posts. Fuck, it's endless. He's promoting the Kings of Las Vegas. Live stream that didn't happen. Yeah, it was way before this. Anyway, the gist of it was he posted something like this. I'll never fucking find it. He posted like, "Hey, I don't care what you think about this, but nobody should ever physically assault another person over an open mic. I don't care what you think about it." Just like this real tough, no nonsense bullshit. It's like, way to go out on a limb, you brave hero. Just garbage. So I wrote a comment, trolling a little bit. I just wrote a comment. I go, Do you hang out with a lot of people who need to hear this? Like, so much so that you can't reach out to them directly, that you have to post a blanket statement to everybody like, hey guys, don't assault people over an open mic. How about don't assault people, period? Thanks, Officer Dan. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I just wrote, do you know a lot of people who do this? Or do you hang out with a lot of people who do this? He deletes my comment and blocks me immediately. Because I pointed out what a basic bitch, social justice warrior, virtue signaling cuck he is. Like, this is exactly what he is. I remember thinking the guy's funny. Look, clearly he has tons of issues. But, like, again, you're not doing yourself a favor being so deluded that you have no idea about reality anymore. You're just out of your mind, guys. Focus, man. Blocking everyone who disagrees with you is insane behavior.
I'm in that club now, and a lot of people knew I would be,
His
right?
privilege is higher than yours, that's all. Because, white people, y'all got different levels on privileges. And his privilege is a little bit higher. You need to get that privilege. You can't. You gotta get higher. Like, I got some white privilege.
He talked about me for an hour almost. I think we're gonna wrap this up in half an hour. We'll spend half the time, and hopefully we've been twice as clear. We don't give a fuck what you think. And I hope you know this. When I see you in the bar, we don't have to wait. We don't have to do nothing, man. Because that's where I'll see you. I'll see you in the open mic.
Don't even worry about that.
I doubt you'd ever be on a show that I'm booked on, and maybe you think I won't get booked.
This motherfucker, nigga.
Well, yeah, nobody's not saying that fucking dude doing mics. We're also for me. I even stated I do mics. I go to mics. I'm always trying to grow my fucking craft, man. I'm trying.
Real open mic.
You guys watch me. I'm coming, man. I'm coming.
You doing that open mic on your bus?
Oh, yeah.
And over to the right we have the Grand Canyon, and to the left we
I make
have
$500 a day on that bus, man.
Look at the way that mountain just glistening at 120 heat. Oh my God.
And I hope to make that in comedy someday. And I've got the bus down to just a couple days because it's $500 a day. So go ahead and shit on it if you want, man.
500 a day?
Pretty much.
I think I make 500 a day.
Pretty much. It's tips. It's tips, man. It's fucking, and I make good tips.
I'm a dancer.
That's
y'all.
tips, dude. That's not how much the bus pays me. That's fucking tips because I'm damn good on a microphone. And I'm going to do it on stage, too. I wonder how much of this he'll watch. You think he's going to say he didn't watch any
All
of it?
I know is when you
He's gonna say
I don't know. Yeah, I know how to search in Facebook, but I don't remember a word to search for. Like, I can't remember exactly what happened. I'm just giving you the gist, idiot. We're way past that now. So good, timely comment. I'll slit everybody's fucking throats. You ever did anything on the daylight?
You sucked on both of them, but we ain't some shit. We on video, so you did great as fuck. You was fantastic.
So the first time I did it, I did so bad they wanted to give me another chance and have me come back and do it again the
I
second.
gave you another chance. That's my nigga right there, so I get that nigga 2 times to do it. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? What niggas I do that for? The other motherfuckers like BG, they don't get that.
Have we made it clear? Have I made it clear where I stand here? I wasn't gonna say anything, but like I said fuck it because there's a bunch of people I hang out with that have been trash talked by this has-been that never was, and he's just like, it's like, dude, you need to fucking chill, man, because nobody gives a fuck about you either. As much as you think you don't give a fuck about it, guess what? I'll be on to something else tomorrow. I told you that. Remember I told you that on the phone?
Yeah, that's not great.
He was like, he goes, let me tell you something. If without you, I don't give a fuck. I'll blah, blah, blah. And I stopped him right there, Coleman's tracks, and I said, listen, motherfucker, my life is not dependent on you. This falls apart tomorrow, I'll be fucking good to go. And I proved that by quitting the show the next fucking day. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with you, dude. You don't talk to me like this. Nobody cuts my balls off, puts them in my pocket, and sends me packing. Nobody. Except for judges. Judges fucking do that in a heartbeat, too. They fucking do.
That's funny.
Right? Like,
You said he touched your balls?
No, no, he said I went to
That
the
is
open
funny.
mic and they cut my balls off.
Except judge. Nobody cuts me off. Except judges.
I was on the toilet watching that motherfucker. I was like, look at this shit. How ironic.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this. You think I'm in denial? Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about this. Nobody gives a fuck about nothing, man. You get lucky. You make money, have fun. And you talk about me, like you're glorified open mics. Can't fucking wait for them. Anybody watching this, got a little bar, you want to pay me a few dollars, come show up and tell jokes, please make it a little worth my time. I'm all about life's adventure. And that's what Ty's not about. Ty's about making enemies. Ty's about separating himself, not fucking, not doing comedy the right way, if you ask me. We did have some unprofessional moments, I ain't gonna lie, on both parts. And I learned from that short time of the bad decision I made to try to go do a show with Thai Rivera. And I stand by it. I stand by what I'm saying right now, man. I don't think I've lied about anything. Have I come across as a bullshitter right now?
Totally.
Any of this come across as I'm making it up?
Should I chime in? Because you say you ain't lying.
So it's interesting to hear Ralph's side of it all. He paid all the money. Ty's pretty much lying about everything. Shocker. Ty stole his $1,200.
So fucking. We had so much shit going wrong that first fucking time we tried. I shut it down and deleted it.
Why you delete that shit? Was
dude, you that was not go. Dude, there was like.
They probably would have came after us.
That's what I mean. Like, I was like, oh hell no, hell no.
Yeah, it was some in the background, but still. That shit was solid. You should have edited that shit.
You think I've said it?
All right, we're going to get out of here. This has been long enough, 4 hours. My brain needs a break, man. And I got so much stuff to post up and edit. It'll all be coming. The Overdose is going to get the second show
I had a lot of friends
from the other night.
And I kept quiet because I didn't want to talk any trash. I fucking said nothing, man. I said
if you want to support the show, man, join the Overdose. It's the number one way to really give back, man. Pays my bills. So thank you guys so much.
And then the World Series of Comedy, and you could
buy something, buy a hat. Did anybody get bingo? Everybody just move on.
Right?
Let a dad know.
Just an open mic, but I tell you what, I work fucking so hard at it, dude. I'm coming,
I'm gonna start making shirts called "We Are Open Micers."
We are open micers. Yeah, whatever, man. I'm looking to get fucking lucky, dude. I'm looking to work hard and get lucky, man, because that pretty much seems to be what it takes in comedy, and that's gonna keep fucking around, man.
You got
anything you want to say?
Is this Beetlejuice from Stern?
I didn't even say Brad Goldie. I said,
yeah, I think that's it, man. All right, guys, let's get the fuck out of here, huh? What a long night of horse shit. Basically, it's the same shit. I really hope we move on from Thai stuff. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Answer the door when I get there. Oh, shit. Please don't come over to my house right now. Everyone's asleep. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out. You degenerates. I love you all. Thanks for the donations. We did raise $6 tonight. As stated at the beginning of the show, I'll be giving half that money to Kool-Aid for his wounds. So good of you guys to only raise $6 for him. I'll just, give him the whole $6. I'll buy him a beer or something. Yeah, it's really sad. I've smoked too much weed. I have a headache. My dog needs to be walked. I'll see you guys on the next one, okay? I love you all. Bye. Good night. Please go do something with your lives, okay? I'm hungry. Does anybody want to bring me a Taco Bell?
Your manner is most unbecoming of a gentleman. Would you be high on cigarettes?
I don't know if the comedy hasn't hit them yet. They're full-blown retarded or just high on cigarettes.
A question posed to stupid hoes who don't get it yet. Excuse me, miss. Are you high on cigarettes? I don't know if the comedy hasn't hit them yet. They're full-blown retarded or just high on cigarettes. All the laughter that you dig, boy, if you listen to the show, boy. Patrick melting faces have you stacking an low point. It's the low point, not the reason. The reason is fucking gold. Gonna make the Taco Pony party be a party of soul. To make you vandalize a van with a pedal sticker so bold the family probably get arrested before they get down the road.